we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Agora's Bells, where tonight we switch systems, and Alex Freeze is really funny.
Oh my god! Screenshot!
Somebody
get him.
screenshot that.
I got it.
Thank you.
Amazing.
All right. Well,
Happy
welcome.
birthday, Alex.
Yeah, happy birthday, Alex. We all love you very much, and this is the icing on top. So, we're gonna throw it over to our recap. But yes, just to mention it again, we have switched to Fantasy Age. This is our first session in that system. Transferring over from 5e, the storyline is going to be the same. The characters are roughly the same, but just a little bit of a fresh system here. So we're going to switch to our recap, and then hopefully we get Alex back. Yep, there he goes.
Hi there, Ma. It's been a hells of a day since my last update. There was a chaos storm in the city we're in, Coupe de Lane. A bunch of strange fiend-like gnolls appeared from out of the storm, and we tried to help fight them off. Talia, the last Empyrean, is the leader of the city, and she asked us to go protect the Strand Accord. Apparently, Talia is the daughter of Accord himself. Coupe de Lane is built inside of a statue Accord, and the Strand is a fire Talia has to protect. It's supposed to guide Cord back when he's reborn, or whatever it is holy types think is gonna happen. I guess I shouldn't be so dismissive after all the shit I've seen since joining the wrong turns. Thanks once again to Saren's quick thinking, we managed to relight the Strand when it got extinguished. She is so damn smart. Unfortunately, our victory was short-lived. Matriarch herself showed up. It was the first time we've seen her face to face. We were too far away the last time she showed up, and she was through a portal before we could do anything. Matriarch was covered in some kind of Ecrix armor, and nothing we did hurt her till I tried using magic I got from knock through my own Ecrix, which I took from Aunt Thunder. Even then, I barely even singed Matriarch. She left after that, which is just as well, cause honestly, the demonic gnoll we fought before she showed up really gave me a beating. My head still hurts. That wasn't the end of this weird day, though. A woman appeared to help us out of the wreckage Matriarch left us buried in. Her name is Kata Jax, and she's Victor and Persephone's mother, but she doesn't approve of what her family's doing. She offered to help us defeat them. Kata gave us the names of dragons, trusted Darun family members, who have pieces of Matriarch's true name literally written on them. If we figure out her true name, she'll be weakened and maybe we can stand a chance. Kata told us about a magic staff we could use too. It's off in the abyss. Maybe we can find Cal and get him out while we're there at least. Maybe we'll even find you. I don't want to trust Kata, but I can't help it. She seems so sincere and genuinely scared of her own kids, her own family. She kinda reminds me of you, Ma. Not that I've ever seen you timid or scared in all the years I've been alive, of course, but Kata married into the Darun family, and they hated her for it, apparently. They punished her, discarded her when she wasn't useful anymore. I know you and Dal love each other, but I also know his side of the family never really took to you. Even before Thunder began twisting their minds. I never knew why Thunder hates you so much. I wish you would have told me. I wish I knew more about you and your family at all, actually. I wish I could ask you about all of this now. I wish I could ask you about that ring you gave me. Anyway, we're gonna have to hurry no matter what we decide to do next. We gotta get back to Hagermere in a month so Saren can join the Order of the Wave. Alright, well, she's gotta get voted in first, but there's no way she won't win. They'd be fools not to choose her, and they're supposed to be a smart bunch, so she'll win. I know I keep saying this, Ma, but I think we're finally getting closer, for real now. If we can take out Matriarch, they won't be able to hide you away or keep controlling you, I bet. We're on the way, Ma. I'm on the way. I promise. Love always, your little moonbeam.
And we are back. Thank you. I know our cameras are messy, but Alex will be back in just a second. So thank you for joining us again. Just to give you a little bit of another recap, we left off the party in the town of Tolos, on the continent of the First Lands. The first land that was created when the goddess Astitia created 3/4 of the world. The party has now, at this point, kind of come into encounters with a family called the Daruns multiple times. their matriarch, an ever-living ancient demon lord, has now done battle with them at least once, and realized that the Ecrix, the little tiny sentient stones that the party all carries that is bonded with them, have protected them from her. And Alex is back. Alex, we're live.
Oh shit! Hi, everybody.
And the little sentient stones have protected them from the might of Matriarch, the Demon Lord. The party had a, needless to say, stressful day, and they decided to go and scream out of the top of the Statue of Cord, which is where where the town Coupe de Lane is inside of. So we meet them on Tolos again. Do we want to pick up, or do we want to do next morning? Or do you guys have more to say right after the scream sesh? Or do we just want to pick up at breakfast the next day?
My voice is a little hoarse. I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm okay picking up at breakfast unless anybody had a thing they wanted.
I want to do one thing.
Sure, you got it.
On my own after the group goes to bed.
You got it.
I'm going to get up and I'm going to grab my book of names.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go back to that well.
Okay.
That had all the spirits.
Okay, so you kind of wind your way down the statue. There's actually quite a few people out at night, especially for one that just went through such a tragedy inside of the city. There's actually quite a few people still braving it out and enjoying themselves.
I will be as covert as possible.
Okay. Nobody's giving you a second look. Everybody is either drunk or they don't care, frankly.
That's fair. That works in my favor.
Yeah.
Then I will just casually walk and bring my book towards the well.
Okay. You kind of walk past the odd shop of antiques that you saw the day before with the little halfling man who had the skull on his shoulder, very eccentric fella. You kind of walk by his shop, and the saloon-style doors have a little lock over them, even though you can easily crawl underneath of it. And you continue on down to the cell. You the well. You make a few. The only sound you can hear is your footsteps on the stone as you kind of sneakily walk down. You see the swirling well of this turquoise blue water. Water might be a stretch as it kind of swirls together.
Okay. Before I interact with it, I'm gonna go through the book, tear out one random page of names, okay, and I will keep that page.
Okay.
Just
a random page?
Just a random page.
Okay, cool.
Whatever has, I'm sure there's a lot of names on here, so I'm not giving away all the names. I'm just giving away 99% of the names.
That's fair.
Giving some for myself for leverage later. And I will approach and say, I have names for you, but I want something different in exchange.
You watch as you kind of approach, and the waters, the almost like white cap, as they begin to swirl in on themselves, infinitely downward. And you hear this voice kind of... It kind of comes out of all of the corners of all of the alleys around you, but then it kind of coalesces inside of your head, and it says, how can we help?
I want to be stronger. I want you to loan me your power, and in exchange, I will hold up the book. I will give you all of these names.
You feel as you are holding up the page of the book, you would see this if you could see into the ethereal plane, but you almost feel these 13 spectral bodies kind of forming around you, staring hungrishly, feverishly at the page.
Oh, I'm holding up the book.
Oh,
I'm keeping the page on me.
Oh, I see.
They can have the book.
Okay, even better. Yeah, regardless, they are swirling around the book feverishly. You would see them clawing at it, but you can't, so...
But King Jax isn't here, so I don't know shit.
Yeah. There's this long pause, almost expectantly, of what specifically you want.
I suppose I want two things, really. I want a boost in my magical ability, if you're able to provide that. And then I'd like to see my younger sibling.
You wait for a while. There's you still feel this spectral energy around you. You kind of look around. Nobody is around in the streets. And again, there's this long pause. They say, the first one, of course. The second one depends on how strong your memory is. Do you want to take the risk?
I shall. My memory is rather good, and I will turn into a perfect copy of my younger sibling as I knew them before they passed.
Okay. You watch kind of the well swirl, and it kind of opens in the center, parting way for the book.
I'll drop it in.
Okay. So it is at this point I'm going to ask Kate what your youngest sibling was like.
Sure. Which is really funny because I would have said their name if I could remember it.
It's been a month. I mean,
it's been a little bit. I'm trying to find the correct Google Doc. Okay, here it is. Their sibling is Yaz. They're younger. They're also a changeling. So they have gray skin, short, kind of like just below the ear length, white hair, pure white eyes, almost like a drow, but not really. And they were, I believe, Yaz was 12 when they passed.
Okay, so the water kind of closes around the book, and it's gone. And the tides kind of like subside for a little while, and out of it you see Yaz in their changeling form descend out of the water, spectral as Bryn's mother was. And they kind of look around for a little while, and this is the last time you saw them, so they are still young. And they kind of look around wide-eyed for a while and don't really see anything.
I'm gonna turn into my younger self, the self that I looked like when Yaz knew me. And I'm gonna walk up to them.
Okay.
And as I'm walking up to them, I'm gonna just slowly age myself till I get to my proper age.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go, hello, you. It's been a little bit.
They kind of turn around. They're kind of looking in the other direction, and you just hear this like childish like exclamation, and they kind of reach out and kind of throw their arms over you. You don't really feel it, but you still feel like the love, the intent. Yeah. And they kind of pull back, and they're like, Saren?
Yeah, that's the name I took.
You got old.
Oh, you always were a brat.
They kind of put their hand on your cheek lovingly.
I pretend to ruffle the ghostly hair. I miss you.
I miss you. What are you up to? I wish I could be there with you.
I wish you were here too, more than anything. I'm up to a lot now, actually. I've made my way up in the world, not as me, but as someone else. And I have friends now, and I'm, not as happy as I was when the family was traveling together, but I'm happy.
They kind of sit down and they look up at you and they say, well, I'm glad you're happy, but why are you doing it as someone else and not as you?
Because no one likes me.
I don't think that's true. You mentioned your friends.
There's only one person I've shown myself to, and she seems accepting, but our kind, we aren't well known here. We aren't accepted here, as far as I know.
Well, I'm not really there. I don't know what it's like, but I think if you have friends, then they'll accept you for whatever you are.
We'll see. I hope so. I just don't want to get my hopes up.
They kind of look down at themselves and they're like, plus I always quite liked myself. And they kind of do like a little look over of themselves, not probably having like a corporeal body for a while.
You always were far more comfortable with yourself than I ever was. I envied that.
Well, I wish I was there to teach you.
I wish you were too. What would you say if I thought about bringing you back?
There was a lot of flowers I never got to pick. I wouldn't mind it too much.
Okay, good. I don't have anything concrete yet, but I didn't want to do something if you weren't unwilling. If you were unwilling. It's been a long day.
I'm definitely willing. And they just kind of smile.
Okay. I'll give them another, pretend hug.
Mm-hmm. They return it.
Yeah. And then I'll let them go.
Okay, you kind of feel the essence kind of pour back into the well, almost like water extending out and then being dragged back in. Not in a menacing way, though. The broken soul isn't totally heartless, but
yeah. And then I'll change back into Saren, and I'll turn back to the well. And say, thank you for that.
You're welcome. Your memory was strong.
I can never forget what they looked like.
Your magic will find itself when you need it.
That's good enough for me. I hope those names serve you well.
There's again this pause, almost like someone put you on mute for a second, and it's almost like the emptiness where a laugh would be, and then you hear like the end of a laugh, and you hear they will.
Good. Pleasure doing business with you. And I'll leave.
You head to bed. You make it back up to the chapters of brass where you are all kind of staying. You pass through the Order of the Weave Tower, the district where it's at, and you make your bed. Is there anything else anyone wants to do this evening, or we just want to go to breakfast?
I'm ready for the next day if everyone else is.
Cool. All right. So you wake up the next morning inside of the nice area where the chapters of brass calls home. At least in this city. You wake up and you kind of walk over to one of the many balconies with vines growing over them, like the yellowing stone, and you look down into the courtyard where Gavin, the incredible bard, is playing some songs for some local children. He sneaks in a few dirty jokes here and there.
All right, I like to imagine that Kane Jax is totally sitting there with the children jamming out to Gavin and just hollering at the dirty jokes that none of the kids get.
Yeah, all the kids are looking around at you like this big yeti who's just sitting there.
Oh, that's a good one. Tell that one again.
Some of the kids have started braiding the back of Kane Jax's fur.
Hell yeah, he's just totally letting them climb all over him a big leaf pile.
They definitely are. They're happy to oblige.
And he'll even fall over, act like they're knocking him over, even though none of them could probably have any chance in hell to move him. He's like, "Oh no, you're bringing me down."
Yeah, that's how Yetis raise their young. So that scene is that scene is happening. The rest of you, you wake up to this after such a rough day yesterday, and it's a nice sight. And you also smell the smell of bacon and toast from the next room. Kit has prepared some breakfast, it seems.
It's not enough.
All right, so just to recap last session a little bit, we did get quite the to-do list. So just for the audience, they are now hunting 4 dragons who have a demon's true name written on their scales. They also need to go retrieve the Staff of Ruin from Hell, which can undo the lordship of a demon. And they also need to figure out a way to make their weapons more effective against that demon, because they were pretty much immune to it, the demon being immune to it. So they've got quite the to-do list. You, just to remind the party now, you also wanted to settle that thing with the rats in town real quick now that Kit is here. And I believe Varia, the Order of the Weave member, wanted to speak with you all before you left too. Maybe I didn't tell you that, but now I am.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Kane Jax's stoned ass is like, Oh yeah, I probably wrote it down somewhere and then rolled up the piece of paper that was my reminder into a joint. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I don't know why we let you take the messages. Jeez.
Well, I was the one who did broker the deal with the rats. And
I'm like judging King Jax while I'm like turning around and pouring like my flask into my coffee. Like King Jax, that's so irresponsible.
I mean, I'd ask Adrian, but Adrian tends to use our reminder papers as sweat wipers.
Well,
Adrian doesn't sweat. Sweat stops.
Oh no, he's been caught in his lie. Well, beans. Okay, fine. I'm. It's all me. Okay, it's all my fault. I'm so sorry.
all right. Well, I guess we need to go see her sometime today. Did we need to, I guess, go talk to the rats again? The rat folk?
We probably should talk to the little devil demon rats again. We did have like a deal, and we don't want them starting to go all New York City on us, you know.
I mean, did we want to try to see if they wanted to set up, over in the hopefully still empty and abandoned Carnival? Or
Yeah, I thought that was the game plan.
all right. I mean, I don't know. We didn't actually, I guess, run it through anybody. Wow, sorry, it's early. Run it by anybody?
Us run plans by anybody?
Plus, like,
When's the last time we actually planned something and asked someone if it was a good idea? Never.
I mean, I guess that's true. I don't know, Adrian, you got that fancy pin now, so like, are you like our boss? How does this work? I don't get it.
Thought I was always your boss.
Sure.
Oh, by the way,
I mean, we're
Adrian-
gonna listen to what Adrian says anyway, but like,
It's the principal.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I was assigned to babysit all of you from
All
the
right, that's-
beginning.
You
not
hear
So,
Kit
Excuse
from the
me?
kitchen, and then they grew on you. We know the story, Adrian. And she's kind of sitting there sipping her morning coffee.
I was told to you in confidence.
Oh shit, we gotta get Sarah in a pin. She doesn't have a chapter's pin yet, and I mean, I guess she hasn't been through the official like trials, but I'm pretty sure saving one of Agora's goddamn bells should like fucking count.
and also saving a whole library.
Yeah, and I mean, we didn't die to those starter rats, so like.
Thank God for that.
Roland's in the
Already doing
kitchen
better
all
than old
sad.
Roland.
He's so sad.
He's just the.
Poor Roland, I love him so much.
He's so good.
Why do we always take one of Chris's NPCs and just pick on them?
I know.
Like it's like one NPC.
It's great NPC.
At least you picked the one that can't retaliate in any form, so that's pretty good.
Listen, if he gets training from that level 17 bard, we're in fucking
That's
trouble.
true. That's true. So
I do want to make a note.
Training.
I do want to make a note. I did get Gavin's autograph before we head out,
he is happy to oblige.
and bought a mixtape.
Smart.
God.
Support his SoundCloud.
It's like an enchanted stone.
Yeah, he just throws it at people. Okay, so Sarah, you are given a chapters of brass pin if you want. Everyone else except for Adrian hides theirs, so it's really up to you.
Oh, well,
Well, mine
it doesn't seem like anyone else has theirs
I
out.
mean, I'll show mine when it's convenient. Most of the time, like, the kind of things I do, I don't really want people to know the brass chapters are locked behind it.
Sure, that works for me. I like convenience. It goes in the bag.
Yeah.
I tend to flash it when they do a search on my pouch and they find certain things that I'm not supposed to have on my person. I just usually flash that bad boy, and then I'm usually away scot-free.
Sometimes it can get you a pretty sweet discount too, so like.
Again, convenience. I'm all about that.
All right, so as you were having this wonderful,
Chris is like, why do I do this? Why do I bother?
as you're having this little morning breakfast. Oh, sorry, audience, my mic was super loud. As you were having this little early morning breakfast, Kit kind of perks up and she says, well, actually, I'm just gonna say this. We can kind of bypass the rat thing, because nothing really is gonna happen. So if you want to send them to Carnival, that's what's gonna happen. So.
Okay, cool.
So
Everybody else think that's a good idea?
yeah, so they head to Carnivale. Marsaurus, the brass dragon, is going to help them fly over there with some of his wormlings, his 2 little babies. And they're going to transport all of the rats over to the other continent.
Picturing them like little, or not little, but big old draconic possums with like rats clinging all across the top of them.
So that's the plan.
I like to picture Marsaurus like picked up a boat in all 4 of his claws and is like transporting boatloads of rats by just flying with them like a dragon blimp.
There you go. That's what happens.
The Flied Piper as opposed to the Pied Piper.
Oh, no. Lots of groans tonight. Yeah, so you continue through your morning. You have that meeting. It goes well. Cheetrick, the rat demon lord, agrees and says he is always around once you need to fight Matriarch. So he is there as one of your allies. We're probably not keeping a poll, but he would be an available ally in this. So, as you continue through the day, you have Keith waiting at the docks with your ship. You also have Varia, the Order of the Weave member, to check in with, and Talia, the daughter of Cord, who is the ruler of this place. But she was also at the Order of the Weave temple quite a bit, so you could probably find her there too.
She was just waiting for us to like confirm things with Cheetrick, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Alright, so I guess swing by the Weave to talk to Varia and stuff. Alright.
Alright, so you make your way up to the top of the tower, or of the statue rather. The tower of the Order of the Weave is on one of the shoulders. It's pretty high up. And you make it in there, and you see Varia. She has short black hair that crops her face very well. It only goes down to her chin. She has striking green eyes that are very intense. And she's wearing the same red robes, new clothing underneath from the last day you saw her, and she is still poring over her world map table that is kind of like Illusion 3D real time, so she can track multiple events at once. You also see Talia, daughter of Clouds, there. She is a half giant, 7 foot tall, bluish white skin, and long black hair. Yeah, so you see them both, and Varia kind of looks over to Saren and Bryn as they walk in and nods at them. And then she addresses all of you and she says, "It seems like you've all done really good work." Talia kind of in the corner, she's like, "Yeah, we definitely could have done it without you. I see why Varia wanted me to make your acquaintance so urgently. So, thank you."
Dax's chest puffs up. "Well, we're always happy to be of service as proud members of the chapter of Brass. Lift to show the badge conveniently."
There's a little scale mail thing.
Well, I'm just so fluffy. It's hard to see.
Got it. Amazing. And Varia. So if there's any questions or anything you want from Varia and Talia, now would be the time. Other than that, they exchange thank yous, and see you off.
So they're the Weave, right? So they're like experts of magic, correct?
Varia is, yeah.
Varia, I was wondering if I could discuss a matter with you privately, away from
yes, of course.
sound noodles.
Of course. Saren, watch the map, and she leaves.
Oh.
she knowing she's putting you way into something that you don't know about.
I start studying it because this is super interesting. I start trying to figure it out.
Okay. So King Jax, you have Varia alone in her like little study. She's got like a nice desk and like a bunch of globes and things of different planes of existence and stuff.
So Varia, as a master of the Weave, that means you are an expert practitioner in the arcane arts, correct?
Yes, correct. I'm by no means the top member of the Weave, but I know my way around.
Well, how much do you know about like vampiric curses and that mix with fey curses, and when they combine, they make like a weird, what's called ill-fated curse?
Oh, is that what you are? You are interesting.
Could you tell? Is my skin finally falling off?
Oh, sweetie, no. I could tell. Others probably can't. Let's have a seat.
And he's like making sure his hand doesn't like go through him, like he's a ghost or something.
She sits down and kind of, you can if you want, and she's like, "Well, The problem is that... Let me put it this way. You know how Talia out there, she's big and strong, and she's the daughter of Cord, yes?
Well, yes, yes.
She's still not what I would call a cleric of Cord.
Okay, okay, what does that have to do with anything?
Well, you'll definitely have to find a cleric of one of the old gods. I understand you're a cleric, and the arch existences are incredibly strong and impressive, but they don't have the same oomph, do they?
Oh, let's just say I've had a recent change in portfolio, huh?
You'll have to... Yes, that's very interesting to know.
He kind of just pulls out, like, a symbol of Tiamat and, like, slowly slides it across the desk.
She does not look intentionally, puts her hand over yours and just kind of slides it back. And she just says, I don't care where your allegiances lie, but you will have to find a high cleric of some forgotten or dead deity that can undo that for you.
Quick question. I mean, I hate to throw wrenches into this wonderful lesson you're giving me, but what if I'm supposed to be that potpourri figure that you're talking about?
Well, it depends how much time you have. Do you have time to learn something like that, or you have...
Oh, beans! I gotta save the realm.
That's what I thought. It might behoove you to just find somebody instead of taking all that responsibility yourself.
Well, then who should I behoove then? Who?
I don't know. I could
I'm so
try
sorry.
to meditate on it. I do see many things.
He's like very embarrassed. Look, I'm sorry. I don't mean to lose my cool. You know, I didn't wake and bake like I usually do because I was hanging out with a bunch of kids and that's inappropriate. So I'm a little high strung right now, but also because there's no God's damned cure for this. And I'm afraid about what's gonna happen to me.
Let me meditate on it, and I will send you a message. I can see many things. I cannot see your fate. Everything I see is in clouds, and I've never tried to learn about you because I just met you yesterday.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of weird to try and learn everything about the person after getting to know them. Well, anyway...
Right, I've totally never done that, and she kind of sips her whiskey a little bit.
Well, if you, like, want to do this whole pen pal thing, I'm pretty good at it. I send gift baskets once in a while from Nance.
Oh, you've been to Nance's. Okay, well. Here, let me write down my ID in the cloud.
I love the fact that the Weave probably does have, like, a magic, like, information database.
Yes, they do. Yeah, so you've exchanged your your numbers now.
Well, yes, and, well, thank you for your time. I appreciate your help in this matter, and if you need anything from me, let me know.
I will do that. Again, thank you all. It was very nice to make your acquaintance.
Yeah,
the pause that I made was also what she did. It was very intentional. Right. It was like awkward for a beat.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your time. I appreciate I appreciate you helping me. If you need anything from me or my friends, I'll see what I can do.
I would appreciate that. Well, I need to check on something. And she walks out into the other room. The rest of you see her kind of in a rush, and she gently pushes Saren to the side to look at the map. And she scans across to the continent of Albion. And she stares at it for a brief second. She's like, Talia, I have to go. You take care. This, something I've never foreseen, and I never would have. And she runs over, gives Talia a kiss on the cheek, grabs her jacket, and kind of just sprints out the door.
I'm just coming out of the back room. Well, she got out of here in a hurry. Is everything
looking at
okay?
the table, trying to figure out what on earth you saw.
Does she do that a lot?
No, that's new. This is strange. Saren, you look down at the table, and you say that you see the name Cade Hale illuminate.
Who's Cade Hale?
Talia
beans!
Talia looks at you blank face. I have no idea.
I look around at my companions. You all seem to know him. Who's Cade Hale?
No, this is Sam!
Oh, shit!
That's a different life.
Yeah. This is from our last one shot, the Skull of Oedicus one
shit.
shot.
Yeah.
We may have left this person trapped in a mirror with a baby.
Oh my god!
He was a bad guy.
anyways.
It's okay. Okay. So
Neat.
I traded. We trapped him in a mirror, and then I traded him for something.
Oh no, my balloon.
A heart of something.
To the hag for
Yeah, we
was it
traded-
for the
Yeah, we
key?
needed a key.
Oh, we traded it for the key.
Yeah.
We traded him for the key.
We made some very questionable decisions during that one shot.
We were
We were
playing
not good
criminals.
people. We were people who liked Tall and Tender Love, so I
Yep.
mean, I feel like that should say it all.
I think
Right.
I think he's a good guy.
No.
Like,
All right.
I Sam love him.
So yeah, no, that was just all of us, just collective, like, oh, geez. And that was me having a character lapse between like knowing what my character would know and what I would know. I was like, wait, I wasn't there for that for a minute.
Oh my god, yeah, no, sorry, that was 100% Sam freaking out.
Reactions were just so strong. I was like,
None of the balloons are royalty free. Are rather
Ooh.
transparent. I'm really trying to get you a transparent one. Don't worry.
I'll
It's
get
okay,
it.
we'll
Just
figure
you
it
keep
out.
running, I'll get it for you, Chris. I got
We'll
you.
do it live, it's fine.
So the stream
little-
has seen two
little party
non-transparent balloons cover up my face.
it looks very good.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Alex!
Okay, so Varia runs out. Talia thanks you again, and you are free to do what you wish with this day. I will say in Roll20, if you want to look at the New World map that I posted, I've changed a bunch of continent names, so that's why it looks blurry. So you are on Tolos in the bottom left, as you all know. The red X's that I have put on the map indicate everywhere that there is a dragon that Katajax, the mother of Victor and Persephone, has marked for you. So those are the 4 locations. If you show the map to Keith, the nautical guy, he says that the one near Glittergold and Creation is going to be the fastest one to get to.
I think that would probably be where we'd want to go first then.
Okay.
Uh,
Great. Is there anything else you guys want to do in town before we head towards that? I think there was a few people who wanted to do some stuff.
yeah, I wanted to do some pretty basic shopping. Nothing too wild.
I kind of want to try and do something that would make me to make some rolls before, rolling in the system while fighting a big.
Before we go fight a
dragon.
giant or a giant dragon, yeah.
Yeah.
Go start a fight, King Jax.
I will say that there might be something on the way.
Oh, hey. Well, I just wanted to go get some, just like knives and stuff. We don't
Sure.
need to make like a whole thing of it.
Sure. Let's at least make a thing of it. So, you ask around a little bit, Blossom, and there's not that many places like blacksmiths or anything like that. If you want to make a communication check for me, Fine.
Sure.
rolling 3d6.
Just
And,
straight communication.
yep.
Okay. Let's see what happens. 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
So, you ask around for a while, and there's a lot of, I guess, salty dogs. There's a lot of sailors in this town. So they don't know the town any better than you do. But you eventually find a market. You're browsing for daggers, and you don't really find much. And there's an old human man kind of in his lawn chair looking out at his market. He's like, up the street to the left.
Ah, well, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Yep. So you head up to the left.
I'll toss him a silver and thank you.
Sure, he does the bite. He bites it. So you head up to the left, and you find a row of shops. Some of them sell armor. There is one that has no name on the outside, but it does have a little sign that kind of blows in the breeze with 2 daggers on it. So there's no name to the shop, but you can assume that it sells weaponry.
That seems appropriate. I'll head on in.
Sure. You kind of duck in, and there's a woman with an elven woman. She has dark skin and like green eyes, and she sits behind the counter, and she kind of has this green hood up over her hair. And she looks, and she's like, "Oh, welcome. Make yourself at home." And instead of like a blacksmith shop, there's like it's almost like bookshelves with daggers hanging off of it. There's like a little rope that hangs down from every shelf, and there's just tons of finely crafted daggers here.
Okay, so it does look like there's a lot of like nice stuff.
Yeah, they're all. I mean, I wouldn't call them like magical really, but they're very
Okay.
finely crafted. Maybe some are magical, but
All right. I'll pick out a few basic ones and like 4 nicer ones.
Okay.
Just throwing knives specifically.
sure. So you go up to the table and you kind of lay out your choices to her, and she kind of like puts her hand over a few of them, and she kind of looks at you. She pauses for a moment. It's just a real awkward moment. You know, you're at the store and someone's judging what you bought.
I'm just smiling politely back, like, okay.
And she says, "Interesting." And she moves over to like the little medieval register and begins getting out change for you.
May I ask what is so interesting? I mean, they're very nice looking knives.
Well, thank you. I craft them myself. It's interesting. When I feel a certain mood in my life, I craft a weapon. Some of my daggers are imbued with anger, some of them sadness, and some of them love and happiness. You picked out all the ones that were made when I felt guilty about something.
Yeah, that's super interesting.
She smiles sweetly. She puts it in a little plastic bag for you. All your knives kind of poke through and fall out.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day. I hope it turns around.
Thanks. Hope you don't need to make one of these for a while. And I'll head on out.
Okay.
Just like thrown.
All right. Anyone else before we leave Coupe de Lane? Cool. So I'm assuming you want to take the ship there. You could try to teleport there, I guess, if you want to end up in the middle of the ocean. That's fine with me. Just let me know.
I mean, Blossom is sulky about needing to get back on a fucking boat again like 2 days later. So,
Okay.
you know, she's taking her medicine, as it were.
All right, so you hop back aboard. You see Keith there, the big elephant beast folk. He greets you all with hugs and claps on the back. You see he has a few new scratches. Excuse me. A few new scratches from the fight last night. But other than that, he looks fine. You see Flea up in the crow's nest looking down at y'all. The first mate, Brayden. Really hairy human dude. Keith says, "All right, where to? Happy to have you back aboard so quick."
Oh, it's nice to see you, Keith. Looks like you had a little, I guess, tussle in the Chaos Storm the other day.
Nothing this old tusk couldn't handle. And he kind of pats one of his only tusk.
Well, glad y'all made it through okay. I mean, I hope everybody else is good, right? I mean, I don't think Adrian could handle if anything happened to good old Flea.
He's fine. He's a baby. He was sitting up there all night just taking crack shots at him. He didn't even get into the combat.
I'd be more scared for the Knolls if he did, I think, honestly.
Yeah, I've seen him eat a guy.
God damn it, Chris. I ate a man!
Ate a man.
So I think we're trying to get here, and with a flourish, I'll whip out our map and I'll point. I don't know where that is, but I bet it sucks.
He's like, "All right, looking forward to it. Never been there myself. It's a unnamed island off the coast of Glittergold, but I'll take
Does
you
it
there
sucks?
best I can." Oh, it probably sucks.
Great.
So you depart Coupe de Lane.
Favorite kind of places, the ones that suck.
The city of Cord, the body of the Lord. You depart. You see Talia kind of wave you off from the markets. She kind of tips her like sword to you as a tip of the hat gesture. And you descend through the giant waterfall that is the entrance to Coupe de Lane. You do see, as you part, just as a nice little nod, you do see people are using the lower level of the city again, so the rats have mostly left.
Yay.
And they're walking out of it, so you were successful there.
Hey, the butt shoulder's free.
You think of the short time that you spent here, and all of the things that happened, all of the interesting people you met in 24 hours, 48 hours.
We really get to know a place when we stop in.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So you're gonna make it there pretty much unabated. If there's anything else you want to roleplay or anything like that on the sea, if not, I've got a few little things, but we can just keep traveling.
I'm good.
Okay, so about 24 hours into the journey, it is a very it's an easy journey. You pass a few islands. You pass an extremely small island. You can see the entire thing. You drive around you float around the entire island. It's no more than like a few miles across. And all you see is this guy in the center of it in a lawn chair. And he's just sitting out. There's no trees, no hut, no nothing. And he's just staring out at all the boats. Kind of yells out, "Hey, fuck you then!"
Oh.
As you drive by.
Oh, no, fuck you, buddy.
All right, Fuzzy, why don't you come down here?
Oh.
Oh, you want to keep talking? Oh, Keith, turn it around. Run
What the fuck is happening?
Keith just continues on. He's like, "King Jax, I love you, buddy, but you don't want to fuck with Kurt. Who's
Kurt?
He's a
Who
weathered
is that?
sailor. He sits there and he insults people that drive by, and if you fall into it, man,
What?
oof.
Why?
Look.
Does he need
I'm
help? Is he
jealous.
stranded? Or...
Oh, he's absolutely fine. Aren't you fine, Kurt? Fuck you, buddy." And he's just swearing at him in the distance.
Okay.
Sounds like he needs a drink.
Yeah, he probably does. Keith throws one of his bottles of rum in the water overboard to him.
Blossom looks scandalized. I bet he doesn't even get there.
So that is the island of Kurt.
Fucking Kurt.
So you continue on. It's nighttime on the first night that you were sailing. It's gentle, it's breezy. Keith does make the decision to pull over and dock in a small sailing island. It's no more than a few shanties and a few boats docked. It's just a little place that he knows. So he sits there for a while. Continue on the next day, maybe day and a half. Everything seems fine. I need you at this point all. Hold on, let me make sure I got the right check for you. Yes, I need you all to make perception checks. So 3d6 and add your perception modifier.
Would it be like seeing if we specifically have the focus in that,
Yep.
or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, no focus in the ye old perception.
Remind me how having a focus works in this.
Plus
So,
2.
Yeah, so if
Plus
it's
2.
applicable, you just get +2.
It's like a
Right.
tag empowered by the apocalypse that gives you +2.
It's a 12.
Okay.
I'm about as good at this in this system as I was in 5e.
15.
Okay, great.
14.
13?
Oh, wait. Perception's its own thing.
Yep.
Ugh,
Yeah, or seeing perception.
Mm-hmm.
heck.
My elven eyes see
10.
very little.
So King Jax, you and Keith are kind of sitting at the wheel, talking about Boolin and how great he was and memories and shit.
Good times.
And Keith doesn't seem to take note of this, but the flow of the water increases steadily. Keith is buried in tales and he is just chatting with you.
Oh, Keith, buddy, the water is picking up here.
Oh, damn. He kind of runs over he's like, "Take the wheel," and he like
What?
touches your hand and puts you on the wheel.
Take the wheel, Boolin!
Hold beans! I never
Boolin, take the wheel!
My other captain
Oh,
is
no.
Boolin Yang.
Kane Jax gets out a little flask and just... Oh.
Keith looks down over the side, and it's almost white capping. It's getting more and more intense. He's like, "Oh, we got a whirlpool." Then he looks. He's like, "No, that's not it." And he's like, "Flea, what do you see?" Flea's like, "I don't know." And he's like drawing in a comic book.
Oh my god. You're so gonna die.
Keith looks over, and there is another little island next to you. It has like very tropical trees, palm trees, little underbrush on the beach. And around the side of that small island, you see this juggernaut of a ship just curve around to the left around the island.
Oh.
It has spikes, and it has this big like plow in the front that acts as a wedge almost to cut through ice in the winter. Similar, you do too, but you're not that big. It's like a 3-story ship.
Oh, it's a dreadnought. Oh god.
Yeah. And the flag kind of unrolls, and you see the symbol of a cask of ale that has been opened up. So there's like one spout coming off to the left of it.
And then King Jax is just pointing. Friends, we've got trouble.
I feel like Blossom was below deck in her portable hole, but like saw everything like flying by, and she just comes up looking angry, like, "What the fuck is oh shit."
Yeah. So Keith kind of runs back to the wheel. He's like, "All right, we're just gonna try to steer on. That's the Cold Sea Cast. You want nothing to do with them."
Well, who are they?
Yeah.
Well, they're probably the most notorious pirate gang around the seas. They actually engineered the use of like underwater ships. So that thing can definitely go.
Fucking ships can go underwater.
Okay. Okay, you know what? I've decided, friends. You know how we're on a quest for allies? Folks with underwater boats sound pretty damn good right now.
What, do we have anything that the pirates would be interested in? We have nothing to bargain with.
I mean,
Pirates aren't generally the bargaining type, is my understanding.
It's more cutting throats and taking gold.
I
And
say as my like claws are digging into the wood.
I thought pirates hunted treasure. Isn't that what they do? And we're looking for treasure, right?
Yeah, but they're gonna take your treasure, and he like taps your maul on your hip.
Oh, beans, that does it. All right. Full speed ahead. We're taking them on.
Well, no,
Well,
I
we're
think
gonna
we
fight.
gotta-
no!
Can we outrun them? Like, I don't know how boat works.
Yeah, we can give it a go. All right. Everybody get into positions, I guess. I know we haven't really established those at all up to this point, but everyone else knows what that is. And you see on the back side of the wheel, Keith like pulls this little lever down, and you do increase in speed a little bit.
Great.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could take their ship, maybe. That'd be pretty nice. That's a nice boat.
You watch as the Juggernaut begins to round the island and start chasing after you. It is definitely faster. Would anyone like to do anything to this ship?
Well, I had a thought.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way any of my flame spells could be used as an improvised engine somehow?
Sure, why not?
Sure!
I don't know the system.
Jet
Let's
power
do it.
ship.
I have a spell called Flame Blast, so
Okay.
The Fire Nation's gonna attack, baby. Let's
Yeah.
go.
I'm gonna
what
say.
do I do?
I don't know. I'm gonna say go ahead and make just a straight willpower check.
Excellent. Hold on.
Let me get my
Let's
book.
go,
I suppose I
Bryn.
should have that.
Okay. Willpower, you say.
Blossom drinks.
Good, noted.
I don't know this system. Let's make shit up.
14?
You know what? That sounds high enough. You get this. So all the rest of you are kind of panicking, like, "Oh shit, what do we do?" And Bryn just kind of fires off this jet of flame that gives you this like 200-foot burst as the ship just carves through the tide. Keith kind of looks back and he like his trunk is blowing back over his head and he's just kind of hanging on for dear life. So I will count that as one success as we enter into this Suedo skill challenge. So if anyone else wants to add to this, any creative ideas here, please let me know.
I will cast Arcane Circle on the side of our ship that the other ship is heading towards.
Sweet. What does that do?
It's protection from spells cast outside a 4-yard diameter.
Cool. Okay, so in order to make sure your spell works, you have to make a willpower check.
Cool.
So let me look up the specific rule on that, because I might have shorted Bryn out of a few
Chris?
bonuses. What?
I think the
Chris.
spell itself has a target number included.
Mhm.
It
Right.
does. Every
Yeah.
spell has a target number, and it's an intelligence roll to cast your spell.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
I
Bryn.
am
The target
Very
number
smart.
for Flame
We're
Blast
new in
is
town.
12.
Yeah.
We're new in
So
town.
I beat it, and
Cool.
I have a Fire Arcana specialization, so I'm
Okay.
cool.
Sweet.
Sam, remember that conversation we had before the game about not studying before the test? Like, that's what I'm doing. It's working.
Same. So I rolled a 12 and then adding my plus whatever.
Mhm.
So I hit it.
Okay, so it works. Okay.
Yeah.
So you watch as Saren kind of touches the side of the ship, and you're like, wow, everyone has such new magic today. And the side of the ship kind of, there's this big, like, it's almost like a film, like a little holographic film kind of tremors and travels across the entire boat. I will count this as a success because right as you do this, a cannon is launched off with like, it's almost more like a trebuchet off the top of the boat, and this flaming sphere impacts the side and just disintegrates across your hull. And Keith kind of looks down, expecting he like braced for impact. He's like, "Keep doing that shit," and he just keeps driving.
Quick
Anyone else
question.
besides the two that have went?
Quick question.
Yeah.
Could I like use one of my, because like my lightning spells have like more specific targeting rules, like chain lightning. It's like, oh, you arc over to other targets. Like, how would you want me to target the boat?
Just roll it,
Just like roll what, like my arcane
just to see if it
blast?
works. No, what
Okay.
spell do you want to work and use that target number?
I'm gonna use chain lightning. Like that's my big lightning spell.
That's
That's
your
like
big
my
one.
ultra good ass lightning spell.
Okay, so your target number 17.
So then and then the ship will have to make a stamina test. I don't know how that's gonna work against a ship.
Yeah,
But
we'll
let's
figure
do
out.
it.
I don't
Ship
care.
it. Ship it.
Ship it. I get to roll. Sick. Oh no.
So that is, let's see, that's 10, 14, plus my intelligence, which is 4, so 18 plus my focus 2, 20. My target number was 17. I pass, so I'm gonna deal 2d6 plus willpower. That wrong one. 2d6 plus willpower, and then it's gonna like arc to other targets. So I imagine it would like arc to other like parts of the ship.
As rough a word as this is, it is also penetrating damage. So you bypass the defenses of the hull. Maybe we'll find a new word for that.
Armor piercing.
Yeah, there we go.
FFA.
Piercing damage. No, that's confusing too. We'll figure it out. Whatever. So
AP.
yeah, so where usually the hull kind of shimmers with a similar effect that Saren has, you notice that your chain lightning just kind of bolts right through it.
All right, and then for each other target, they also have to make stamina saves, and I don't remember them telling me exactly how many times I get to do that.
They
get
must
to
all be
keep-
within 10 yards.
of the original target. So it's
Right.
like I'm just trying to think, how can we do this with it being a boat, or are we gonna just kind of wing that?
Honestly, just roll like 46.
All right, cool. And then I add my willpower to that. That's where the willpower comes in.
Yep.
5, 9, 11 plus my willpower, which is, I believe, 5. It is 16 points of, well, it would be lightning damage.
All right, we will count that as the third success of the skill challenge.
So Canechax raises his incense burner and his hammer and begins clanging the incense burner with his hammer, and just summons just this whole, like, this big dark storm cloud that sends out just fingers of like lightning towards this dreadnought.
Keith looks over at the dreadnought. He's like, Okay, I think we're in the clear. That was a bit much, but and like the Juggernaut just has like basically the front is like sheared off of it. Um, so yeah, well played, everyone. You have succeeded without failure on the skill challenge. So Keith looks back and he's like, "Wow, I'm mighty thankful for y'all, mage types," and he just keeps piloting his vessel.
Yeah, seriously, that was awesome. I like haven't moved. Blossom's just got her claws like dug into the like wall somewhere.
Flea yells down, "Hey, boss, there was a ship over there." Okay, so you're successful on your skill challenge. Okay, so is there anything else anyone wants to do before we make it to the island?
I think one night Blossom will go visit Saren real quick, if that's okay.
It's fine with me. I don't know.
Let's do it.
So she'll just track you down. I don't know what like the sleeping arrangements are like. If like we're all in like one bunk or whatever, I'll just sort of pop my head like out of my portable hole one day and like knock on the wall. Be
No,
like,
isn't it-
hey, Saren, you got a sec?
Oh, yes, of course. What can I do for you, Blossom?
All right, oh no big deal. You know, nothing really. I just you know, we haven't gotten to like practice too much since we talked about that whole like, oh, you were gonna help me learn some magic-y stuff, and
Yes.
I was gonna help you learn some like, you know, pointy throwing stuff. I just sort of thought, if you were gonna be doing that, you know, you're such a lady of style, you should probably like get something a little nicer to like practice with. So, and I'll pull out, just like really simply like badly wrapped in like garbage, because it's like what I had is like it's like empty liquor like labels like wrapped around like a small package. I'm like, I didn't have time to get paper.
This is undoubtedly the most Blossom-like gift I have ever received. And it's so kind. Thank you so much.
All right, well, I mean, it's my pleasure. Thank you for helping me out with the whole magic thing. I mean, something I wanted to do for a long time, so I appreciate it.
If you have your portable hole with you, we can go in your demi-plane and practice if you like.
Oh yeah, I mean, I always got that thing handy with me. I mean, it's where I got everything that matters. And I'll like flourish and like Bugs Bunny it against the wall.
And I will carefully unwrap all of the liquor labels to look at the present that Blossom has given me.
You have a set of 4 throwing knives that are very, you know, they're finely made, like with sort of ornate decorations, and probably fake jewels in the handle. You know, I mean, Blossom spent what she could get, but it's just like they're like, you know, just some fancy knives. She would have made sure that they match like your outfit too, so because that's how Blossom rolls.
You are a woman after my own heart, Blossom. Thank you very much.
I'm glad you like them.
I adore them.
I can go try them out. You need your first lesson.
Let's do it.
There, this will not help at all, and I'll just hand you my bottle as we go in.
I'll take a quick sip.
All right, and I'm good with that. We don't need to, unless you want to try throwing some knives. I think you get a -2 penalty till you get a talent.
Oh God! Yeah, no, I'm good. I'll just fiddle with them.
Fantastic. All right, so as it's probably the 4th day of sailing here. It's quite a long journey, and you eventually make it to the side of the hemisphere closest to Albion, which is kind of where you're going. As you continue your journey, you feel the rhythmic water kind of swaying under your feet one night, and it changes, but not as drastic as it did when the Juggernaut was around you. It begins hitting the hull slightly harder, but not anything noteworthy. You notice the sea is getting a little choppier the longer the night goes, and then rain begins to lightly fall, and before it becomes a steady fall. You kind of look out to see if Keith needs anything, and Keith kind of pushes on, eyes narrowed on. Sorry, that was funny. Somebody just sent me something. I apologize. Keith is looking on, eyes narrowed straight ahead. Then Kang Jax, you're probably the first to hear this, but the thunder then begins as you kind of sense it first. The waves kind of start to swell, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's chaos for several minutes. Keith is hollering again on top of the deck, asking for all hands on deck. The rest of you don't really have jobs, so you're just kind of helping where you can, maybe holding a rope somewhere or staying dry somewhere else or making sure Flea is actually doing his job. But then in the distance you see, finally, after several minutes of this, not being able to see past the edge of the ship, you see a large light, almost like a lighthouse, shines down and scans across the boat several times. You watch as Keith wheels the wheel around, avoiding a jutting rock right to the right that the light made visible for him. Without the light, he might have run aground on it. Soon, the chaos kind of dies down, and you find yourself parked on a tattered dock. You look out at the island, and there's a sign that's kind of obscured on the coast, and Keith is like, well, that was a bit of a doozy, but I think this is where at least y'all are headed.
Yes, I'm not gonna ask you to go any further, for what we need to do is dangerous.
Well, I'll be here, waiting.
Keith, hand on shoulder. Your help is much appreciated. I appreciate what you're doing for us, and I appreciate you and your companionship.
Hey, pleasure's all mine. And he kind of gives you like a half bro hug.
As we're doing our half bro hug, it's just like, well, no one tells the boat captain ever, oh, gee, thanks for the lift. It's always just, oh, okay, bye now. So thanks for the lift, Captain.
Look, I appreciate it, and I'm happy I can be y'all's captain. And he gets his hat out, kind of brushes it off, and puts it on his head.
Yeah, who needs big old trebuchet cannons when you've got Bryn's fighter jets to get you by?
Well, can I tell you a secret?
Yes.
Someday I want to have one of those damn things. Those are frickin' cool.
Right? Ugh.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the Titan's a mighty vessel, and he kind of pats the metal hand railing.
Yeah.
But, man, those things are something else.
That was a big boat. Definitely could take on one of those really big sharks that they say they need bigger boats for.
Exactly. Alright, well, best of luck. I don't really know what you're facing in there, but I hope it's something that y'all have no troubles with.
Oh, just a dragon with a demon's name etched into its scales. No biggie, and that's when I turn away and start walking off.
He waves to you. Yes.
Bye,
Goodbye,
Keith.
Jax.
I give you my love if I don't come back.
I'll be waiting for your handkerchief. And you kind of walk down. The five of you kind of exit the Cold Sea Titan, watching your footing on the uneven dock. There's like footholds missing. There's complete panels missing. It's kind of decaying in certain areas. Nobody has used this in quite some time. The five of you kind of exit again, and you kind of see this lighthouse in the distance. But before you get there, there's this large wooden sign, and there's words smeared on it, but you can't really read it. It's smeared across with mud and rain, and you kind of wipe it to the side nonchalantly. The grime kind of gives way to some nice calligraphy that at one point, if it wasn't missing a few letters here and there, would say, "Welcome to the Star-Touched Isle." And that's where we're going to take our break. So we will be back. Thank you for hanging out. Excited to see where this goes. And
yeah!
hopefully not get eaten by a ancient dragon.
And go check out our sponsors. The links are in the chat.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so we'll be right back. Thank you. And we're back. Thank you all for bearing with us. How about that new AFK screen by Abby? What?
It's so cool.
It's amazing.
So cool.
It's the best.
Yeah, so we left off as the wrong turns just touched down on the star-touched isle. What mysteries could be here? So the first thing you do see, as you know, you kind of read this sign and you're like, that doesn't mean shit to us. And you look up and you do see from the lighthouse, you see a dark-skinned, portly man with gray hair on the sides. He's balding up top. Even from this distance, you can tell he has very kind eyes, and he wears an imperfectly knitted fisherman's sweater, almost like he's halfway through knitting it. And he's kind of, I know typically, you know, like a loved one would knit it for you, but it's almost like he's doing it himself. And like the belly is not like perfectly symmetrical. And he yells out, he's like, hey y'all, if you're friendly, I've got warm cups of cocoa upstairs. And you just hear this clank, and he just shuts like this big metal door behind him.
I lean over to Sarah, and much nicer than Kurt. I can say that much.
By a mile, yes.
We're super friendly, right? I think we're super friendly. I just want to get away from the water.
Fair enough.
I can trade Bud for cocoa.
He's already in the door.
Let's
like,
go. Let's
he's like
go.
not taking the chance. He's like locked you out in case you aren't friendly, but he just wanted to be nice in case you were.
And now we're standing outside of his house.
Yeah.
We're here for cocoa.
You walk up, like the little, like you kind of see an eye in the little peephole. He lets you in. It's like, hey y'all,
Hello.
you guys faring okay? He kind of looks over all of you with your imposing magical items.
Blossom's fur is like all on end, though.
Oh, come on in, you'll catch a chill. And he kind of like ushers you all inside. He gives you like a nice little knit blanket. It seems like he's a bit of a knitter. And he has like just a bunch of knitted items around.
As an actual knitter, I appreciate this guy.
Yeah. He's
Same,
not
I
very
love him.
good, but he's trying.
You know, I appreciate him even more now because
Yeah.
mood.
I might be pulling inspo from my own grandma here. I don't know.
Kane Jax will look around at the group and look at the man, and as a gesture of good faith, he reaches into his pack, pulls out a pair of wooden knitting needles that are well crafted, and it looks like they're made out of like a combination of like pine wood and like with bone weights at the top. For you know how like knitting needles have like the balls on the top of them for a weight thing.
Yeah. He takes them and he's like, "Wow, blow me down. This is really nice. Thank you." And he kind of reaches out a handshake to you.
And I give him a handshake. Kane Jax Zisifer of Stum Yang at your service, and we are the wrong turns, and allow me to give you a sign of our own hospitality of good faith.
Oh, I really appreciate that. My name is Broadworth Buck.
And well, I'll allow my companions to introduce themselves, and those are great knitting needles. Those were crafted by me mum, so you know they're good.
Well, hopefully I can finish this damn thing. And he looks back at his portly belly, and it's kind of like half hanging off of him.
Oh, do you mind if I take a look?
Yeah, sure. You know what? And he starts like just slowly taking the sweater off and giving it to you.
So Kane Jax starts like gestures for the needles and starts kind of knitting it a little bit and be like, look, you know, it's all in the way, it's all in the fluid motion. You don't want to be all stiff, and it's probably the most dexterous you've seen Kane Jax ever be in your life.
He's
Kane
just
Jax! Blossom's just like, what? I don't.
Broadworth is just engrossed by this. He's like, where are my manners? Hold on. And he runs off to the kitchen and gets 5 cups of hot cocoa. Places them, little whipped cream action on it, little cinnamon shaving.
How long have you been carrying those around, King Jax? I have never once seen you knit. I didn't know you could do that.
Oh, that's something Aurora and I used to do together, so.
Oh.
We don't anymore, so I guess maybe that's why you haven't seen me knit in a while.
Maybe.
You're pining over a loved one. Well, you came to the right place. That's why most people end up in lighthouses.
Is it?
Yeah.
Not really pining, more so kind of like wrong place, wrong time, you know.
Pining. It's pining. He's pining.
I mean, there's definitely pining involved, but also some actual, like, you know, that is shitty luck, man. Just
It's
like,
misfortune
that's
and
rough,
pining.
buddy.
Look, we're not here to discuss Kane Jax's very eventful love life that is not worthy of discussing. She's also married, so no.
Well, what does bring you by then? And he kind of looks at all of you, kind of taking you in. He's super trusting, but at the same time, he is keeping like a little bit of a distance from your arsenal of weapons that you've brought into his lighthouse.
What's the inside of this lighthouse look like? I'm like specifically trying to tell if I can gather sort of any sign of allegiance he might have to someone we know lives on this island and is a dragon, I guess.
Definitely. Well, it just seems like a lot of nautical themed stuff. He's got, like Captain Wheels, things like that. He's got art of all these different islands and lighthouses that maybe, he's been to or something. It seems like he does painting as well. Seems like he has a lot of hobbies to kind of fill his time up here. So it's like over the top tacky nautical themed. There's no like banners, anywhere.
Yeah.
Does he
It's
have
just
like
seashells on everything?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does he have a wall clock made out of driftwood?
He does now. He also has like a driftwood rocking chair that he's made. Yeah, so you can't really tell an allegiance, if any.
It's every
Right.
beach house you've ever been to.
It's a beach house, yeah.
He's got a sign that says the beach is my happy place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like a gone fishing sign in the bathroom,
Uh-huh.
probably.
That way.
It totally has like 3 boats outside, an anchor somewhere.
Just like a
Fishing
net
line.
on one wall.
Oh my
Yes, and of course there's a fish or 2 on the walls as well.
He continues, he's like, well, I hate to ask again, but are you here for anything specific? I don't get many visitors, especially this time of the evening.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's a pretty lonely island, like you said. Are you the only one in the area, I guess?
Oh, yeah, well, you want to hear the tale of old Mr. Buck, I'll tell you, but it's not a super happy one.
I mean, I'd love a story.
I would be thrilled.
Don't know if this helps. I'll like reach into a bag and pull out what is now definitely a half-empty bottle, but I'll like slide it over.
He like adds a little to his cocoa and sips it gingerly.
Nice.
He's
I
very
snag
gentle.
my mug before anyone can spike it.
He's very gentle for such a large, like, typically clumsy-looking fellow. And
love
he's,
him.
He's just sipping his tea, and he kind of gets some bifocals out and kind of puts them on. And he's like, well, my family used to live right down there. And he kind of points out from the elevated height that you're at, and you do see this little, like, ruins of what could have been a village. My mom was a musician at the inn, my pops owned the lighthouse, and he kind of gestures to the whole thing. Says, then one day the dragon came, and the village started turning, and good people died. It's roosting up in that damn tower in the mountain. And he points over out to like this, it's like this really jagged mountain, but out of the top there's this like double tower kind of peeking out. One of the towers, they're attached, but one is a little higher than the other. He's like, well, and that's where it's roosting. It's almost like this undead, like toxic energy kind of spread out from there. He's definitely killed a lot of innocents. I stay here to warn people away from the lighthouse, but from the look on your faces, you're right where you mean to be.
Does his story seem legit? Is he believable? Blossom's just very paranoid about
Right.
anything like to do with the Darunes right now. So
Sure, hold on, let me figure out what that is. Probably like a willpower check. Yeah, just go ahead and make a willpower check.
just straight willpower. Okay.
Yeah. Unless you have any like tags that
This doubles though.
nice. You can check out the
Um,
role-playing stunts
I-
in our Roll20.
Let's see. Do we have that pins?
It's in Roll20.
Oh, it is. Okay, hang on. Sorry.
There's a whole folder of all of the different stunts.
I'm scrolling. I don't see it readily though.
Oh, did I not make it public?
Would it be in like the characters journal section?
No, it's right under to-do list. It says stunt
Right on.
tables.
I don't see it.
Oh, what the heck?
Here,
It's
I'll
not
post it
public
up.
yet.
I'll post it up real quick. It should
Yeah,
be
I'm trying to
in-
think because I know I get a few for like discounts, but I think the one that I'm thinking of is an exploration rather than roleplay. So
I
I don't
got
think it
you.
would be
I've got you.
helpful.
Alright, it should be up too.
I get 6 fucking points though, so shit.
Nice, you're gonna take all this guy's stuff.
All right,
I'm
I
gonna know
uploaded it.
everything about him. What was his mother's maiden name? Let's see. Shit.
Yeah, they're all available now. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't think I really need anything right now, to be honest. Though
That's
that's
fine.
like
You
the
don't have to use
shame.
them, yeah.
I know. I just want to see if there is something that might be useful, though. No, I don't think any of these fit. At least for the role playing. I don't know if maybe. Nah, I guess that doesn't really apply. That's a perception check. Never mind.
It's all good.
Yeah, that's a shame. Bummer.
So you could do the upper hand just in case. In case you need it.
Oh, that's true. At least for while we're still in here. Might as well. That just says that if your discoveries lead to combat, within a few moments you get a bonus to the initiative roll.
Okay, sure.
Which is something, you know.
So you kind of nonchalantly ready yourself a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I do have the, like, it's for a perception check, so I don't know if you would let it count anyway, but I do get a discount for the That Makes Me Wonder stunt.
What does that do?
Which, like, in the case of a perception check, at least, it lets you make another one at no additional cost or resources to discover more information about your surroundings. Bonus test.
There's not really
Yeah, I
anything
don't know if
hidden.
it really matters, so.
Yeah. There's not really anything hidden, to be honest.
Okay. Well, just in case I'll do the initiative thing, but I don't
Okay.
think it's gonna matter.
So you kind of steal
you
yourself.
could also try doing the setup thing.
Was
Just
that in the exploration?
It's a combat stunt, but it just means it puts one of us in a better position to do something.
Just in case?
I mean, it says on the next turn, the ally receives a +2 bonus on the ability check of their choice.
Neat.
We're not really doing turns right now, but it might
Yeah.
transfer.
Sure. I guess I'll sort of do that.
Okay.
If that's cool, Chris. I don't know. Just I don't
That's
think
fine.
it matters
It
anyway.
doesn't matter here, to be honest.
Yeah.
So you get to read that he is definitely telling the truth. When he mentions his mom, you see some sorrow behind his eyes. He was definitely mama's boy, from what it seems. So, yeah. So that's what you got. He's definitely telling the truth.
Okay. I mean, Blossom appreciates that. She has a soft spot for sure for anybody who's like mama's boy or person or whatever. So I think she'll be like, well, I mean, I don't know if it'll be any comfort to you, but we're hoping to maybe deal with that problem with your,
Oh,
you know,
really?
less than friendly neighbor. We'll
Well,
see. We're
he
gonna
kinda-
try.
He kind of takes off his like old knit cap that he's wearing and kind of rings it in his hands. He's like, well, I don't want to put a task on some new adventures to the island, but I will say that sometimes I swear I still see my mom staring up at the lighthouse. And this place is warded against all types of undeath or anything like that, but I swear it's her.
Look, I have a knack for seeing into the beyond. I'll be able to tell you if she's there or not.
That'd be great. And honestly, look, I know this might be a little bit of a strange request, but if you do run into her, could you put her to rest? I don't want her, you know, stuck anywhere she wouldn't need to be.
I think we can.
I appreciate it. Well, she played piano down at that tavern, and she sang. She has a real beautiful voice, so that might be how you pick her out. I'm not sure.
Did she or do you, maybe have a song you really like? And Blossom will just sort of knock on her lyre, like a little bit.
He kind of looks down and he's like, well, I really appreciate the gesture, but I think it's probably best if I don't hear it and start welling up at the eyes before you need some info.
Alright. Might be able to help us, I don't know, find her too. I won't have to play it for you now, but...
Sure.
Alright.
So you're here to deal with that dragon.
We're hoping.
He kind
What do
of
you?
goes down for another sip of cocoa. He's like, it's kind of a mockery that he's here in the first place, this island of all places, but whatever.
What makes you say that?
Well, I mean, it's the Star Touched Isle. You've never heard of it?
We're
No.
new in town.
Damn it, you beat me to it.
Sorry.
Oh, well, you know, again, I'm probably the last person who really lived here when it was functioning, but legends say, at least it's a legend, but this was the last place that Azor Bale graced this realm, and probably I ain't even heard of him, but...
Have I heard of him?
Yes, we have.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yes.
No, you're fine.
Wait, has Adrian heard of Azorville?
Yeah, you were there for that.
Yeah, we had like a whole talk.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
you're
with the baby
all
dragon.
caught up. Yep.
Oh yeah.
I look at my bag in which there is a baby dragon. Like,
AJ just kind of
Oh,
stares
you mean
up at you
that
all.
baby
Like
dragon.
one tooth has come in.
Aww.
Yeah, we've
I
heard
love
of
him
it.
so much.
I would protect this dragon with my life.
We know who Azor Bale is. Not a god of this realm, I've been told.
Very true. Yeah, he's been here a few times though, and this is the area that he left at. So he jumped realms from this island somehow. Again, it's a myth, old folks' tale maybe. But
I found to take credence in old folks' tales.
as do I. And he kind of smiles a little bit, maybe remembering some folk stories that his parents would tell or something.
Look, Bronson, I've got a little something that might, make you feel a little better. You don't have to if you don't want to, but KJ pulls out a nicely rolled.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well,
Ethan looks disapproving.
We were like giving this dude booze for drugs.
Look,
he passed the top of your head. He's like, maybe I saved that one for a rainy day. I don't want anyone else washing ashore on my watch tonight.
No, that's fair. And, well, we didn't wash ashore. We parked here of our own volition, so you did your job well.
I appreciate that. Well, you're welcome to stay here if you want to get a night's rest before doing whatever it is y'all intend to.
What time of day is it?
It's really late. It's like midnight.
Yeah.
King
Might
Jax
as well, I
lights up
guess.
anyway.
Look, it's like
Nice.
midnight. I have to be up for my workout in 4 hours.
Oh, I was hoping. Actually, I had some more questions for you, friend, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've got time.
So you said Azor Bale only graces this realm specifically, only a few specific times, and from my understanding, it's only for important beansness, correct?
Beansness.
Sorry,
Got a
common's
funny accent.
common's my third language. I apologize.
I'm not making fun of you, friend. Yeah, he comes here. I've never seen him. I don't think many of my ancestors have, but during very important times of the realm when his sister was running rampant all those hundreds of years ago.
So he only appears, you're saying, when Agora appears, is essentially what I'm picking up.
Yeah, that seems to be the story.
So was that the last time he was here? Was because of Agora?
If you're believing the myths, then it seems that way, friend.
Well, due to recent experiences, or not so recent experiences, recent's a subjective term. Anyway, I've had a bit of a run-in with myths lately, so I'm gonna take your word for it.
When you're telling that story, you got pretty pale there.
Yes, Kane Jax is gonna try and get himself unflustered. Just a lot on the shoulders.
Hey, I'm not saying y'all are running from anything, but if you were, this is a pretty great place to get lost for a while. And he just kind of sweetly smiles over his cup towards you all.
Well, look, unfortunately we don't have time to hide out just yet, but maybe a nice, vacation beach house someday? Timeshare maybe?
You know what? If you unnest that dragon, consider that whole place yours.
Oh, sweet! Another place to add to my real estate empire.
this whole speaking on nesting the dragon, does it? I think you said like, when's the last time you saw him? I guess has it like not been since he first came and fucked everything up? Has he just been like chilling over there this whole time?
I've only ever seen him once, and that was when he came and, you know, the first day that he arrived, but yeah, I don't have much more intel, unfortunately. I've only seen him once. He was like a white or a gray scaled dragon. He had this writing on him in this like black ink, though.
You couldn't happen to fucking read it, could you?
Nah, I'm afraid there were too many words on there for me to pick one out.
Yeah, didn't think so, but I mean, you know, would have really been fucking kicking myself if we went and, like, murdered this guy and came back and you were like, oh, thanks for taking care of old Joe or whatever, I don't know.
Well, people, when the whole thing was going down and everything, he did proclaim that his name was Vanitoth, Keeper of the Unforgiven.
Oh, great.
And I don't know really what that means, but...
That name sounds like somebody who likes to give a lot of hugs.
Yeah, I think he's a real charitable guy.
Sounds like it. Can't wait to meet him.
I wish you luck.
Thank you. I think maybe we'd love to, you know, stay the night just to rest up before we go, you know, fuck up his day.
Yeah, you got it. You know what? I can make up some beds. Hold on one sec. And he kind of like hobbles upstairs, and you hear another set of footsteps coming down with him.
Oh, beans!
And you see this golden-plated. So Warforged are now called Orleans. So you see this golden-plated Orlean, like male in form, I guess, masculine in form at least, and he walks down the steps. He's this gold-plated thing. He has a very narrow robotic head with no eyes and one central like lamp affixed to it. And you can guess that this might be what Broadworth uses as the light in the lighthouse.
Oh my god.
And he's like, yeah, we're gonna make up some beds. I wasn't too creative on the name. His name's Light. Yeah.
Hi, Light.
Oh, Light doesn't talk. You know, most Orleans are sentient creatures, but Light was just something I kind of whipped up in my youth, so.
Alright. Well, it still seemed nice to be polite, I guess.
That's true.
Do appreciate it, though. You're sure we're not gonna, like, I don't know, like, cause you any trouble?
Nah, this, like I said, this place is pretty well warded against everything decaying and undead, so if anything, I'll just be a little more unnerved. But even if you fail, frankly, dragon can't get in here.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he hasn't eaten me yet. I've been here for years.
Wait, you said you've got this place warded against the dead, right?
Just the lighthouse, yeah.
Huh.
It's good to know. Alright, I just, you know, wanted to make sure we weren't going to be causing you any, like, trouble by hanging out here in case, like, we totally fuck up and piss this guy off.
Well,
but, you know, I mean, we won't. It'll be, like, totally fine.
Alright. Well, as long as he doesn't, you know what? I'm more than happy here, even if I went down with the lighthouse. I think I'm fine.
Also just, like, drinking, like, not touching the hot chocolate. I, like, poured some into my mug, and now I'm just drinking from the bottle.
King Jax has probably polished off his third cup and is now using the cup as an ashtray.
So, as Broadworth and Light go along and make beds for the evening, they're just old sailing cots. They're not great. And they're kind of hostel style, placed around the living room, but that's
fine.
That's what you got. Yeah.
It's not as bad as the bed and breakfast from Parks and Rec.
True.
How many cats?
So, anything else before we go to sleep for the night? Any role-playing scenes? Anything you want to...
I want to bother Bryn.
Sure.
So probably as we're like getting ready for bed, Kane Jax is. Well, I like to imagine we stepped outside of the house to let them get it prepared for people staying the night, to be polite. You know, nice beachside talk at night. And Kane Jax will approach Bryn and be like, so I just wanted to check in. You know, we just left Tolos and Butt Shoulder City, and you know, after everything that happened with you there, I just want to make sure everything with you is okay.
Well, thank you for asking, King-Jax. I suppose I am as okay as I can be.
Yeah. Did it give you what you wanted in the end? Was it everything you hoped for, or do you regret doing it?
I am glad I spoke with her. But for a long time I had this memory and this hope. It's been a long time, so like the edge had dulled a bit.
Yes.
And then I saw her again, and she was there, but I couldn't touch her, and I couldn't hold her, and...
Hey, Bryn, so, I'm gonna tell you a little fun thing. You know how I can, like, see dead people?
Mm-hmm.
Well, your mother is right next to you, like, almost all the times.
She is?
Or she's, like, off in the distance watching, like, when you need your space. So, like, you know, when you're, like, you know, if you ever want to get, like, flirty with someone, like, you know how I get with Keith and Aurora, you know, like, she backs off for that stuff. She'll give you the respectable distance when you need it. But, yeah, she's always watching you. And, you know, I think she's proud of you.
Thank you, King-Jax.
Yes, of course. And, you know, in my experience, talking to the dead never goes how you want it to. You don't get what you're ever looking for. So, yes, personal experience, so I understand what you're going through, is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you, King-Jax. But if I have my way, this will not be the last time I spoke with my mother.
And you know what? It probably won't be. You know, when the dead wants to pierce the veil between the living and the dead, they can do so when they need to. And, of course, we all join our ancestors at some point. We might be doing it soon if things go poorly with this dragon.
A good point.
Well, I'm glad to see that you've been handling it, but I know how it can be handling things.
Yes, well, suppose it helps to have a mission.
I've found that the sense of purpose is the only thing that keeps me going sometimes.
How are you, King-Jax? You've had a difficult time recently.
I believe the proper word would be haunted. I remember that one from the lessons very well.
Fair enough. But I meant more, emotionally.
You know, there's a reason I'm probably stoned more than I'm not nowadays, you know? I'm not doing too good, if I want to be completely honest. But don't tell anyone else I told you that. You can't, like, I'm kind of like the face of confidence. We can't let them know it's starting to falter a little bit.
I will keep that in mind. Is there anything I can do to help?
And he kind of, like, sits down in the sand. I mean, talking about it does help, and I know I love Blossom. She's like a sister to me, but, when she gets drinking, she gets talking. So if I told her I wasn't doing too good, and, you know, kind of be the rock for her and everybody, and it's, I never thought I'd be saving the world, you know?
Yes. No, me neither.
Like, I don't know, yeah, Mom and Dad said, King-Jax, you'll do great things. We all know it was a load of shit. I spent all my time smoking weed and eating mammoth wurst on the couch. I wasn't going anywhere with my life. But, like, here we are saving the world.
Yeah, here we are. It's a strange twist of fate, this one.
Yes, well, I'm glad it's by your side and not some other pyromancer who would want to turn me crispy.
Thank you, King-Jax. For what it's worth, I'm glad you are here as well.
Oh, are you admitting that you kind of like me? Aww.
Don't push it.
I won't tell anyone. It's okay. We'll still act like you're cool and like standoffish and aloof?
That's what I portray, I suppose. I'm not very good with people or emotions, or I've never stayed in one place for a very long time. Haven't had many friends in my life, not since. Well, but I consider you, all of you, to be very dear friends.
And you're a very dear friend to me as well. And I value you, as you know, I value your opinion, even when we don't agree on everything. That's how much I do care about you and think of you as a friend. And which is why, and he pulls out a pack, King Jack's just full of gifts today. I've got this old book. I don't know how much you want to know about elf culture. He kind of dusts it off. It's, more about the snowy clans, but it's a book about elves, and I didn't know, maybe you'd want to read it. There was a section about, like, some spells in there.
Kenjax, thank you. I take it. Start, like, turning it over, like, caressing the spine.
It's a very nice, it's like a decently nice book. It's got an ornate cover. It's got like some leather bounds and straps on it, so it's definitely hefty.
Just like clutch it. Thank you, King Jax.
Well, of course. Well, hopefully, you get plenty of time to read it once we're done saving the whole realm and everything.
Yeah. Yes, I'm trying not to think of the greater implications of what's happening here. I'm just taking it one step at a time for this one. Yes. I mean, as you said, I never thought I'd be saving the world. I never really thought much beyond my own nose, to be fair.
That's fair. Tell you what, to help take your mind off things, let's play a little game.
Oh, dear.
I call it, so if Blossom takes at least 50 swigs, I will bet if she takes at least 50 swigs, I will do an Adrian morning routine workout.
Okay, yes, I would pay to see that. What's the catch?
Well, the catch is if, I lose the bet and she takes less, you have to do the Adrian workout in the morning.
Okay, well, I've never done a successful push-up in my life, so,
well, she could fix that for you.
Like to see. I bet I could get Blossom to take at least 50 swigs. I bet I can do it. Okay, right.
I mean, it's not hard, but it's like you've already won.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll take that bet.
We should talk to her about that. She's been, getting a little heavier with the bottle lately.
Well, now you make me feel bad for encouraging bad habits.
So do I, but...
We are about to face a dragon. We might be dead tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll address it later. You know what? It's not a now. We don't have time to unpack all of that. And, if we do things the way I usually do it, we'll just leave it all here until we die.
Yeah, just all right here. And then one day...
Well, anyway, Bryn, I appreciate the talk. I'm glad I can depend on you as a friend. Holy, I've really got to stop smoking so much. That was an unfortunate slip. Anyway.
I'm always here to listen if you need me.
Well, same goes to you.
I promise you, whatever I can do to help you and to fix this ill-fated thing, I will do.
I appreciate it very much. Well, we should probably get some rest. Adrian's gonna wake us all at 4 a.m. anyway.
Well, hold on, we have to see if Blossom can get very drunk.
Oh yes, this is true. You're onto my game now.
Shake on it.
So we shake on this bet.
I gotta know. Does Blossom drink 50 sips tonight?
Bryn's gonna do her best to bait her into it.
Oh no. Oh no, drinking skill. Drinking focus. Carousing focus. Carousing focus.
Can you hear me now? My mic.
Yes.
Yeah, seriously, I don't know. 50 swigs is a lot. Do you want me to roll and see if I pass out or something before I can reach 50? Because that's kind of the only barrier.
King Jax is Cane Jax is not very good at math. Like, I'm not good at math.
13?
You never know. They could be like mini swigs, you know, like little sip from the airplane bottle. That probably
Yeah,
still
because that's how
counts.
Blossom drinks.
Oh wait, shit, that's me. Oh no.
Victory!
Oh beans.
I look up from my book. What?
Have fun doing push-ups in the morning, Cane Jax, while I will still be asleep.
Oh no. Oh Adrian, I'll do your morning workout with you.
She's asleep. What are you talking about? It's
All right.
midnight. It is past her bedtime.
Fine, I leave a
She's
sticky
in
note on her
bed.
head.
I mean, you know what? That works.
Or I'll like leave it in the palm of the hand.
Oh no, we have a before we get to that.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. I heard him through Abby's mic on that one.
My bad,
Chris.
Yeah, I got it.
Can they hear you now?
Yeah. Sorry about that. So we are going to do a few things before we bed down for the night. So, King Jax, as you are settling into your little sailing cot, you tuck yourself in, and you think happy times, and you think back home, and it's a little chilly, so it kind of reminds you. You kind of feel the wind kind of blow through the window. You fall off to sleep for a little while, and you have good dreams about running through the, when you were younger, maybe, and your brother got along a little better, and you ran through the streets together, playing games, and, maybe you see your mom and your dad and Boolin running around. So you're running through the streets with Boolin one day, and he kind of stops in front of the Elder Puzzle, which is what made him ascend to an archexistence. And he looks up and he says, "Someday I'm going to solve that." And he just kind of smiles and starts running towards it. And that's probably the day that he ascended. But as you kind of turn around and blink and you look back, and then you see Boolin in his adult form, the last time you saw him, and you see Matriarch behind him with 6 swords through him. And you see her Ecric's chest cavity open up, and you see Boolin just pulled slowly, painstakingly into it. And that's what you dream about. So that's one thing.
Thanks.
Yep, you're welcome. Next thing, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yep. Next thing, Bryn, you wake up in the middle of the night. You're stirred awake for a second. You hear some like noise. You're kind of probably by the windowsill sleeping or something, and you kind of hear some noise. And you see that AJ has crawled out of your bag and is now kind of sitting one tooth grin on the windowsill, just kind of looking up at the moon and the stars.
AJ, what are you doing?
He kind of looks back and he slides over the windowsill to like give you room to come up next to him.
Okay, I sit next to him and start scratching him gently.
Yeah, he loves it. He does the leg thing, everything.
Cuddles.
And he does.
She gets all the good pets.
Yeah. He kind of pulls in closer to Bryn's leg and kind of like rests his head on it.
This dragon is my baby. I love it.
And he is just staring up at the stars without interruption.
You like the stars, huh?
He looks up and kind of like almost nods in agreement and kind of looks back.
Okay, I will sit there stroking him for a while.
Okay. He eventually falls asleep on your hand.
Can I take him back to bed with me and
Okay.
cuddle him?
Yeah, he allows it. He's still not very big. So it's pretty easy. And then I think that's it. That's it tonight. So you wake up nice and easy. The rest of you got off lucky this evening at least. So you wake up, King Jax, to the sound of Adrian putting her pauldrons on or something. I don't know what Adrian runs in. Adrian, you take it away.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, she normally is pretty quiet about it because she knows no one else wants to be up at 4 a.m., but noticing the sticky note on her face, she shrugs and, like, thinks for a little bit, and is suddenly very, very proud of Cane Jax. So she'll go wake him up.
Oh no! I lost a pet!
She'll go gently wake him up. All right, son, let's get going.
Son? Mom, is that you?
No.
Oh, Adrian, good morning. I'm sorry. I thought you were my mother for a second.
I would assume I am significantly shorter than your mother.
She's a bit short for Yeti.
I'm a bit short for human.
Okay,
anyway,
well,
all right. Now, you're new to this. We'll start it off light. We'll go for a 2-mile run.
Oh, okay, 2 miles. I think I can do that. I did once walk 2 miles to get cheesers. I think I can run 2 miles to get cheesers.
We'll jog.
All right, I could do a good brisk jog.
Well, thank you for joining me, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, of course. I'm happy to oblige. Yeah. Little do we know, we're just setting up that moment in the comedy where Adrian finds out it's all for a bet, and
she's gonna be really upset, actually.
I know. I feel so terrible doing this, but Cane Jax would not tell Adrian the truth right now.
But yeah, she goes easier today than normal because Cane Jax is joining her, and she knows he's not used to this.
And like before they begin the workout, when Adrian's not looking, Cane Jax is like, "Dear Bull and Yang, help me get through this."
You hear nothing back, but you're not sure if it's because he's dead or else he would also not be interested in this.
oh shit! I mean, dear Tiamat, help me out. Still nothing. Okay, I'm on my own. So, what do you want me to roll to see how well I do?
Yeah,
with this,
let's roll.
Let's
something.
work out. Constitution, stamina.
Probably stamina, yeah.
Ooh, I get a +2 to this because I got a focus, baby.
Ooh.
Dang it, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be 7, 9, 11, 13.
I mean, 13, I would say that you do decent. You're still trailing behind. You don't pull anything. How's that? You're not injured from this activity, but you're still quite a ways back, unless Adrian takes it easy like she said she was. So you don't pull anything.
So as we're doing it, Cane Jax is like, shouts up to Adrian, "You know, this isn't as half bad. This is actually a brisk jog in the morning. This is kind of like a wake and bake. I see what you've been saying now."
Oh, do we need to turn it up? I can turn it up.
Oh, no, don't turn it up. So let's keep it where we're at. Let's not change the volume at all. This is a good pace.
I mean, if okay. I mean, no pain, no gain, but okay.
Well, we don't want to gain too much. We have to go kill a dragon later. I don't want to, be winded for killing a dragon.
No, you're right. Soreness while fighting is a very bad idea. Can't push it too hard. Don't want all that lactic acid building up.
That's like if I offered you a joint right before we fought the dragon.
Yeah. See, we can agree on things.
I never said we couldn't. Hey, I love you, Mom. I mean,
I love you too. Cane Jax?
I mean, Madrian.
I'm a little, well, I don't sweat, but I'm a little gross. Do you want a hug?
Yes, I always want a hug, yes!
You're a little sweaty, but okay, Brandon.
These don't sweat, we pant, thank you.
Oh. So that's what that noise was.
Imagine trying to sweat with all this fur on you. No, I don't have asthma. Oh no, my lungs have been quite ruined for some time now.
Yeah, that's why I thought you had asthma.
Oh no asthma. I don't think. Oh no. I just usually Boolin used to send air into my mouth, and then he taught me how to do it. So yeah, maybe I do have asthma.
This is hitting so close to home for childhood Chris.
I'm sorry, we're accidentally getting too real on Chris.
Maybe I do have asthma.
Well, anyway, after we finish this set of reps, I make post-workout shakes.
Ooh, shakes! I like shakes.
We'll see.
I like them with mammoth's milk. And then we can't get mammoth's milk out here, but you know.
How about spinach?
Ugh. Why don't you just grind this up? I hand her a bag of pot.
Oh, it smells terrible.
Oh, but it actually has that's a nice strain there. Excuse me.
It's all dry. You can't make a shake out of.
Well, doesn't the ice cream part make it nice and moist?
We don't use ice cream in post-workout shakes.
Oh, I thought it was the word. When we were doing common lessons, Erin and Bryn told me to stop saying moist. Sorry. But, we could still try. You never know.
I'll keep it in mind.
Oh my god. That's why you decided not to be a mum. You're the cool mum. It punches Adrian's, pauldron. You would have been the cool mom. Up top.
Okay.
Glad you think I'm cool. Thank you.
You're the cool mom, Adrian. I'm gonna tell everybody, and King Jack sprints back to the place.
Oh, that's faster than he ran when we were out.
On that, you make it back to the lighthouse, and Broadworth, a bit of a morning person himself, has woken up and is, having some coffee on the couch, and everybody else kind of comes to as they're winding down their run here. And you wake up, you look over Bryn's sandwich between two pets, but everything else is according to how you left it.
You're muted,
Alex,
Alex.
you're muted.
Sorry, I'm talking to myself. I'm talking about how I'm jealous. I want to be loved.
All right. Would you
Don't
like
talk to me and my
set
two
out-
sons ever again.
Don't touch my sons.
Don't talk to me or my.
Would you like to set out on your heroic adventure this morning?
Would I like to know, but do we have to? Yes.
Yeah, let's go get killed by a dragon.
All right.
Let's go TPK.
And
So-
King Jack's like strutting his stuff that he survived an Adrian morning run.
Yeah.
And he's like, and totally one of his legs cramps up and tries to make Adrian not notice it. Like, oh, no, I'm good.
All right. So you descend the lighthouse and wave goodbye to Broadworth and his friend Light. And you continue down into what he pointing towards was the temple on the top of the mountain. You make your way through, and I need somebody to make what kind of check would this be? Let's just call it perception. I need somebody, whoever wants to helm this is gonna make a perception check for me.
Oh, my
Is
perception
this-
is actually pretty okay now. Shit. That's a new thing.
Neat.
Neat. Sorry, go ahead, Kate. I was just
Oh,
very
no.
excited at that discovery.
Is it a seeing perception check?
Sure.
Sweet. Then yes, I will head it.
Okay.
It's also one of my primary skills. I'm very excited by this. Oh shit. 21.
Wow. That's really good.
I rolled 2 5s and a 6.
Yeah. Okay. So you make your way through the dense
Oh, so you got
jungle.
You get a stunt?
Yeah, you have an exploration stunt if you'd like to use it.
Yes,
Do
I will
it,
use
do
it. I
it.
don't know what it does, but yes, I'll use it.
There's
like a
in
list.
Roll 20. It just click the one that says exploration.
Okay.
And like you can like, how many stunt points you have is how many you can spend on stunts. And
Okay.
according to this, you have 3 stunt points.
Nice.
Okay, then I will use speedy search and advantageous positioning.
Okay. All right. So you quickly
Nice.
analyze the forest terrain. And you also say that you, just because of the roll was very high, you definitely saved some time here with your speedy search. You quickly analyze that 3 of the paths are dead ends into like the thornier parts of the forest. You also avoid one potential detriment. There's a path with like decaying dead trees down, and you're pretty savvy with that check, and you know probably not that one. So you
Fucking
avoid
trees.
that route. Yeah. And you make your way down into the village, as that seems to be the only really safe route through this. You also see that the village, it kind of like sees around the mountain. There's like a C shape, and it kind of leads up into it, and that's probably the safest way up into this tower. This is also the village that Broadworth told you he was from.
I will relay this information about how we're gonna go.
Great.
To the group.
Awesome. So you make your way down. So I guess now I'm gonna ask, would you like to try and like avoid the village on like the outskirts of it, or do you want to use the easy path through the village?
I will put that to the group. I don't trust myself to make that decision.
Well, hold on, let me check my spells real quick.
Because
It said there's necromancy stuff there, right?
Are you hurt? I
Yep.
can't help.
That's where he said his mom would watch him at night, even though she's dead.
Oh, then I gotta go check. I said I would.
I mean, Blossom's instinct, for what it's worth, would be maybe we handle that after we deal with Dragon, instead of risking using resources on our way there.
That's a good point. I would like to go into this with all of my spell points, if possible.
Okay, fair enough. So I need everybody to make dexterity stealth checks.
Oh dear.
Oh, jeez. Hold
Look,
on.
I'm a warrior in heavy plate mail. This is not gonna be cool.
Can I make a punch it in the face check?
Stunted.
On the one hand, I stunted. On the other hand, I did very badly.
Stunted.
I also stunted and did do great, but if I fail it, I do get to re-roll. So I don't know if a 14 is a fail for whatever you need us to do, Chris.
No, you're good at 14.
Okay.
15.
Ooh, then I get a stunt.
I got an 8.
Okay.
I got 6 stunt points.
10.
10.
I got
Okay.
so I rolled a 10, but I think my armor penalty subtracts from that.
Your armor penalty is for movement speed.
Yeah, it has
So-
nothing to do with.
So your
It has-
stealth is 5.
Oh, okay. Because if it wasn't, I would have a 5.
Yeah, great. Okay,
So we
so
got 10.
regardless, this open air market has been kind of torn asunder, and there's bits and bobs that you're kind of tripping over around the outskirts. So definitely some of you fail. Would anyone like to use stunt points here?
I would like to, but I
I'm
don't.
not sure what
Searching
would be
my
good.
stunt
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? I'll give myself the. I'm gonna use resources at hand. Choose a focus that you don't have that falls under the same ability as the test you're making, dexterity. You're considered to have the focus until the time or venue changes. That's kind of up to the GM then.
Okay, so you're proficient in stuff, basically.
So yeah, I'm gonna grab a temporary focus in stealth,
Cool.
and then I'm going to. I guess I will also use advantageous position once and just not spend a stunt point.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah. I also generated a stunt, so I don't know if it'll matter, I guess, because I know we succeeded, but because I rolled a fucking 5 on my stunt die, I'll use with a flourish. So if anybody who sees me makes like an opposed, or if I have to make an opposed test against somebody who, like, I guess just saw me or whatever, I get a bonus to it.
Okay.
And then I'll use my last point also for advantageous positioning, just in case he's...
I will also advantageous position.
Okay.
I imagine Blossom's probably in the lead if we're sneaking around, so I don't know if that matters, but I'll just go ahead and say I'm in front.
Okay. Sounds great. So you all continue up. You try to find cover due to your advantageous position. You try to find little stealthy areas to crawl into and hide really quick. You wait a few beats after somebody snaps the twig and nothing really happens. You kind of continue through the village, but just feel a little uneasy. Maybe something heard you and it just didn't quite get there fast enough. Something like that. But you head through the village. You walk up this winding path inside of this mountain range, and you walk up to this large stone archway eventually. On it you see these etched in stars on the frame and these different constellations, beautiful constellations. On the very top of the arch you see a large star, a bright star that appears to be going like nova at the time. And this is all etched into this. There's a large bridge that next meets you as you pass over this beautiful underground cavern. The still stagnant water is very clear and it sits beneath you hundreds of feet down. It is here again. You feel as if something is watching you from the depths. You feel a set of eyes peering over you. On the other side of the bridge, you come to a large stone double door. It is slightly cracked open, and you feel this chill wind that Kangjax and Bryn were feeling last night from the windowsill. It's blowing out of this temple. The hair on the back of your neck kind of rises as you stand in the entryway, waiting your next move. What would you like to do?
So we are in an entryway with closed doors?
It's cracked open slightly.
Cracked open. Are there any, like, other openings or, I guess, windows or something?
Unfortunately, it's kind of built into the mountain, so not really.
Okay.
Can I still use Azil as my eyes
Yeah.
in this system? Great, I'd like to do that, please.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep your familiar the same, basically. So.
Excellent.
Okay, so you snap Azil into there. AJ kind of instinctively goes after his friend. You kind of catch him by the tail, pull him back. And Azil, you plop him down into the foyer. And it is here you see a large foyer with 6 statues in a circular area. There is a path upwards on the stairs, and there are 6 other... There's little hallways and little weird nooks and crannies of this tower where there's bedrooms and other rooms, a kitchen area, but there's no real sign of life.
I'll snap Azil back and lean over and be like, it appears to be empty.
Find that unlikely.
Yeah, me too, but I see nothing, just statues. What were the statues of?
You see a halfling girl clad in plate mail sporting a great sword and a loyal dog by her side. You also see what looks to be a human woman with long white hair accompanying her floor-length white robes. Next, you see a tiefling or a half-demon in the system. Sleeves cover where hands would typically be. A small rat perched on his shoulder. Next, another human-appearing woman, multiple blades at her side, and a slight smile. Next, you see a green-skinned tiefling. They have a rodent on their back right next to a well-crafted longbow. And lastly, you see a dragon or a drac in this system. Dragonborn, rather. Graying scales and a kind smile. He has a cape that is billowing out dramatically behind him.
Thanks, I hate it!
The nameplates have been worn and lost to time, but a phrase in a runic language reads "The Star Touched" centrally in the chamber.
Who's that dragon-looking fellow? What a good-looking guy!
Right.
Pretty good looking, I'm not gonna lie. What a hunk.
He's a hunk, dude.
Well, this is unsettling. There, like, we see that there's, like, plates, though, so, like, these are statues, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, Blossom's fur, like, sort of settles back down for a second.
Can I check for traps or something?
Yeah, sure.
Or I could do that.
Or Blossom could do that. That seems her
Yeah, that seems
forte.
good.
I just sort of like wait for a second while Bryn starts. Just
I
like,
was like-
you want
Yes, please, Blossom, please.
I would say
Après-vous.
perception check for that, I guess. Unless
I
there's-
have a
chance.
traps focus actually.
Is
which
it
is
in
supposed
perception?
to
Or-
be. It is. Oh, actually, no. That would be dexterity. I don't know if that's like supposed to be clumped though.
That's fine. Just roll your
'Cause it's-
focus.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the. I'll just do the perception. I'm just actually curious.
Yeah.
Woo! Okay, well that's another stunt and I rolled like really fucking high.
You cut out. Could you repeat that?
Oh, I'm still counting. Yeah, if you want me to go with perception, it's over 20.
Okay, that's fine.
And it's actually the same if it's dexterity, so high.
So, because you rolled really well, oops.
And I got stunts. I don't think I need any though.
No, you don't.
Okay.
I'll just tell you now.
All of my stunt rolls, I haven't actually needed to use a stunt yet, and it's frustrating.
That's why role-playing and encounter ones are, or exploration are, not raw. They're optional. Because a
Honestly,
lot of the times it doesn't really matter. So
honestly, I'm gonna check out the other age books when we're done here.
yeah, we'll see what we put in. So because you rolled really well, I will say that there's no traps or anything like that, but a lot of the bedrooms are dusty. Most of them empty. You do go into one of them, and you find several things. You do search one, and you find a pouch of candy tucked away in a false drawer in one of the desks. And then you also see in one of the closets, you see on top of a pedestal in a walk-in closet among many over the top what my notes don't make sense. Oh, among many over-the-top robes, you find a pedestal with a white swirling orb on top of it.
Neat. Does it look like it's magical? Does it look like an Ecrix or anything to me?
It doesn't look like Ecrix. It's almost like smoke is inside of the orb, kind of swirling around it, but it definitely looks magical.
I like generate my Nox arcane hand and just sort of poke it from, a couple feet away, like myself.
It does not blow up.
I magic hand it over to me.
Okay.
Is everybody with Blossom while I'm like going around looking for traps? Because I'll just sort of pass it over to Sarah or Brid, whoever's behind me, and be like, I don't know what this is here.
That's yeah. I don't care.
I'm following behind a couple of feet.
Yeah, I'll be behind Bryn.
Okay, I take the sphere.
Okay.
I no longer have an identify spell, so
Yeah, I don't really know how that works, so we're just gonna say.
There's an arcane lore focus, so I don't know if that
Yeah.
would like.
and I have a lore specialization.
Sure, let's do it. Roll it.
Sick. Hold on.
I do have an evaluation focus, which helps me figure out how much shit is
Ooh,
worth, by the
stunted.
way.
That's cool.
Oh, nice.
Hold on. 14 plus my lore abilities. Let me find them. And a stunt. This might take a second.
That's fine. Do you have a focus in it? Is that?
I have the specialization, not the focus, so I get like
Okay.
bonus information if I
Gotcha.
did well.
Okay. While Lucy's looking that up, you kind of poke around the rest of the rooms, and the rest of the rooms look like they were cleaned up without being in a hurry, where the one that you found was more in a hurry. It seems like whoever was the owner left some things behind. You kind of look around the dining room, kind of poke around. There's not much going on except for this staircase upwards where this chill wind is coming from.
All right, up the staircase. I want to punch something.
Okay. You continue upwards, and you find in the next room, it's a large circular chamber with a large raised stone platform in the center. A ramp leads up to the platform, as if people could stand on it. Above the platform, dozens of crystals outline a runic circle. there's a system of levers around the platform, and that's really then there's more stairs upwards, but that's it for this room, really.
Okay, when I make a successful test with the lore focus, the GM should give you an extra piece of information on the topic. A lore focus is any intelligence. Yeah.
Okay, so I will give you the, basically the identify spell. This is, hold on. Let me find out where to go. The heck. With this orb, you can change the damage type of one of your spells, and once per day, you can do 2d6 of an element of your choice.
Oh, sick. I'll just, I'll kind of half-heartedly offer it to Saren.
No, finders keepers. She passed it
Fine
to you.
now! I will take that.
Additional bit of lore about it. You definitely aren't the first person to use this magical item, and probably whoever's room you raided for it is.
I wonder who that could be.
Yeah. Yep. Just giving away my shit. Yeah, so you're in this large stone chamber. If you want to pull levers, you can. If not, you can just move up to the next floor.
Oh, I mean, I want to.
Pull levers.
Adrian would not, but Abby really wants to pull all the levers.
We can't tell them, what they might do, I guess.
Not really. They're all attached to this platform, so definitely something to do with the platform.
Blossom, quietly makes, grabby hand gesture with her magic hand at the levers and just sort of looks at everyone like, eh?
I mean, might as well, right? Hitting my own mic stand.
What do the levers look like? I'm gonna pick one.
There is one carved out of onyx with a crystal on its hilt. There is a simple steel one, and there is a red one.
Oh, just give it a little tug, see if it's gonna be bad, and then pull it all the way down first.
Blossom's like, yeah, I'll do that, and I just yank down the first one.
The crystals in the ceiling and around the runic circle begin to spark as if something's coming out of them, and then it just falters after a little while. It doesn't actually work.
You broke it, King Jax.
Me?
Should I try another one?
Go for it. I don't know. I'm just waiting for the dragon to appear.
Yeah, honestly, me too. I'm kind of I don't know.
Wait, where is it? I thought dragons were big. How are we not finding a dragon?
I don't know. It took us a while to spot Marsaurus the first time we saw him, so.
That's true.
They're good at lots of shit. I think Broadworth said he was up in the tower or something, so maybe we're still too low.
Yeah, so just to give you some explanation, the two towers are kind of attached, but one goes higher than the other. So you're at the peak of the first one, but now the bridge will connect them horizontally, and then you can go up vertically into the other one.
Okay, so in theory, we have reason to believe the dragon's not in this tower.
Yeah, in theory.
Based on what we got from our friend in the
princess is
lighthouse.
in another tower.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ah!
Right, well, do we want to keep looking around or just move on?
There are 2 more levers. You want to pull those until we die?
I mean, I want to pull.
I mean, I'm not too keen on the dying part, though.
It was quiet, right? Did it make a really loud noise or anything?
That one was quiet.
Oh, don't worry. Dying's not as bad as it seems.
You're not dead!
Well, I did die.
Yet.
I pull the next lever because.
Okay. You pull the second one is just the steel plain colored one.
Wrong lever, Gronk!
Gears begin to wind and twist. It's not that loud, but it's not quiet. And you watch as the ceiling opens up as if a kaleidoscope opening, and you can see a set of stars right directly above you.
I open my bag so AJ can see.
He looks
That's
up
pretty.
and he tries to fly up to it, and he can't quite fly yet. So.
Is this an observatory?
Yeah, it's looking that way.
Is there a telescope in
Are
here?
we going to discover the day of Black Sun?
No.
Wait, so is it still night out then, or?
No, but when you peer through this exact angle, you can still see the stars.
Oh, neat.
Really interesting.
Weird. Neat.
I have an app for that.
I have the space simulator for that.
You still have the red lever if you wish.
Ready to invade the Fire Nation.
Oh, you know we do.
Yeah.
Mage hand.
So the ceiling kind of transforms now into a telescope, and instead of
Ooh.
where it used to be, a little wire comes down with a looking glass in it.
Oh! I wanna peek.
I want to see.
Go ahead.
You look up and you see 6 very clear stars in the sky, and they all are evenly spread apart, almost like they were designed and it wasn't at random.
Oh no, they're lining up. Bad shit happens when stars line up.
I've seen Hercules. I know how this works.
I was gonna say.
As
Zero to
Kangjax,
hero, man.
as Kangjax pulls back, he has the classic telescope ink trick. He's got the black eye going on.
I do not say anything.
Okay, I look, but I wipe the thing off first.
You see the same thing. You see these stars that are perfectly evenly separated.
I don't like that.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Is like any of these stars in the night sky, are they like brighter than each other? Is there like a disparity in their brightness? Is like maybe the middle one like flashing bright color? Yeah, bright light, for any reason, like, a star blew up or something. Just curious.
No, they're all pretty even. It looks like they might touch soon.
And there are 6 statues in the room, huh?
Mhm.
And it's called Star Touched.
Yeah,
Cool.
weird how that works.
Yep.
What is this, a crossover episode?
Neat!
That's what the top of my notes say that. Ready?
Is it just
Are
the Mr.
any
Peanut
of
Butter
the
image?
statues very small?
There was a halfling.
Yeah,
There is a
Halfling and plate
halfling.
mail
Oh,
with
Yeah,
a dog.
halfling and plate mail with a dog.
Yep, with a loyal dog. That's what gave it away for me. It was a halfling in plate mail with
I was like,
sword and a loyal
yeah,
dog.
that's why she was first.
does Knifewoman have a dragon rat?
No.
Drat is Drat.
All right, what would y'all like to do? Would you like to continue up towards the chill wind or observe the stars for a while longer?
I feel like we should probably get a move on. What do y'all think?
As pretty as it is to stare at the night sky during the broad daylight, we should get moving.
I agree.
All right.
Sorry, I have cat drama happening next to me.
Cat trauma.
Leave your sister alone.
All right, so you continue. There's another bridge that crosses over into the next layer of the tower, and you enter up the steps into a large tiered library. There's bookshelves here. They're very abundant, but they're not the main attraction of this corridor. There are these large stone slabs that have been implanted into the floor, jutting through the floor tiles. They all pulse with this strange blue script that has been written across them. Dozens of these stones line every floor of the library. There's 3 floors, and there's these stones everywhere, these stone tablets.
Can we read them?
I was gonna say, can I read them?
If you want to get closer, you can.
Sure.
Oh god, yeah.
And you put that linguist talent to the test.
Yep.
You step up to the first one, and as you're doing so, you hear, "Who enters my den?" And you hear the soft sound of scraping talon on stone.
No one, nothing, nobody. Right.
It is I.
My name is No One.
I was about to say, do our stealth rolls from earlier, like, is that still going? Or if we wanted to be sneaky while we're doing this, do you want us to roll again right now? Or does it not fucking matter?
I think it saw us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, doesn't even.
A Yeti has no name.
You hear again these talons clicking on this stone, but you don't see anything yet.
Oh god, stop. This is spooky.
You hear it kind of right next to your ear as you hear it climbing across the wall. Have you come to give me your last words?
Quite the opposite, actually. I came to get some words from you. There's actually a few names I might need.
Our last words. Do you have an investment in those?
I am
Like
the
it's-
keeper of the unforgiven. It is my hoard to know the last words of mortals who have sinned.
Oh, you see, well,
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, like, and now I'm blanking on the name of the thing that we were just at.
Start.
The Soul Well thing.
Yes.
What was it called?
That's it. The broken soul.
Okay. Do you know anything about the Broken Soul?
They are paltry sorcerers compared to Vanitoth.
So no affiliation then.
None.
Okay, Kendrix, you're up.
See, well, I'm not a sinner. I'm kind of a holy person. So, you can take your sales pitch and read the no soliciting sign here, pal.
Okay. All of you kind of feel this warm puff of air behind you. Again, you look around, there's nothing there, but you do hear, "Have you come to avenge the owners of this tower?"
I mean, it's on our to-do list. Is that what we're here for?
You hear again this crawling sound down one of the pillars. You hear him say, "I have one of their last words now, too."
And what is that?
You hear the scraping as he climbs up one of the balconies, but you still see nothing.
I get ready to hide behind K-Jax.
Same.
You hear the last
Thanks,
thing
yo.
you hear before a deafening roar is, "You will not take their words from me." And we're going to pick up next time with combat. So we're going to run a little short
Oh,
tonight.
jeez!
Ah!
But I don't want to jump into a boss fight at 9:53. So we're going to go a little short,
Oh,
and that's
man.
okay. But let's go around and plug and stuff. If we want to talk about the system, we can. It's up to y'all.
I'd love to
Listen.
talk about the system.
Yeah, I'm fine to hang out for a little bit
Yeah.
to talk
Cool.
about it on stream, honestly.
Cool, let's do it.
I'm ready for a boss fight at 9:50, but I know other people have lives.
Yeah, I don't.
Then-
It's not me.
K-Jax is now the one we stand behind because in Fantasy Age, wizards are real squishy.
Yeah,
Real squishy.
super mega squish.
And
Great.
fragile.
I also don't have the map ready, so.
Oh, well, that works out.
Yeah.
Gotta do it.
Yep.
I see what you're doing now, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, half an hour boss fight isn't gonna happen. So yeah, what did we like about Fantasy Age? Was there anything?
Stunts are cool.
Stunts are cool. Yeah.
Yeah, stunts are fun. I do wish it was like more for not just combat. Like I know
Yeah.
we were talking about, maybe looking at some other like age
Mhm.
properties or something. That would be cool.
Because like I have the Expanse book. They have like more like specific category stunts. Like they have grappling specific stunts and like
Yeah.
melee combat stunts and like more specific stunt type stuff. Stunts are definitely my favorite part of the core mechanic of Age. It's a lot of fun.
Another endorsement is for the lovely audience, my character sheet didn't save. So at the beginning of the session, I had to pull up a new one. And once I knew what I was looking for and what I was doing, it was really quick and it was super easy.
That's awesome.
Do we want to
Yeah.
go around and just say like what we picked, like our class? We didn't.
Yeah,
really talk
that's a
about
good
Yeah.
idea actually, because
Yeah.
we haven't done that.
We
Yeah,
didn't
just
really
kinda
talk
go-
about it at all. So yeah, we
Go
can.
over what our characters are and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, does
Like we
anybody
can talk
wanna-
about choices we made and things too. If like chat, I guess if you have any questions too about transferring high level characters, because we were level 10 in 5e and now we've transferred over to level 10 in Fantasy Age.
And
So-
mind you, going from level 10 in one system does not mean the same thing.
Yeah.
as level 10 in
No.
another
It's been an
system.
experience. I mean, this was fortunate though because Age does at least have that same 20, like it scales to level 20 in at least
Yeah.
that same way. Because I know when we're
Yeah.
talking about Shadow of the Demon Lord, the trick was like they only went up to what, 9?
10 or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. So I like that at least.
I mean,
Yeah.
so far, it seems like the power transfer has gone pretty smoothly. I mean, I haven't used any combat spells yet, but looking at them,
Yeah, I wanted to ask the spellcasters how you feel about it because I'm really curious.
So I guess that's a really good segue to lead into. So Kane Jax in Age system Ancestry is half-blooded, which is essentially you can take that ancestry and you take features from a monster. So it's like you're making a humanoid version of a monster from the book, and that's how they do tieflings, Aasimars. So Chris let me do Yeti because that's what Kane Jax's whole aesthetic originally was. Is supposed to be very Yeti-ish. So I feel like I was able to get stuff out of that. We had to kind of I still got my bludgeon focus from the Yeti because I rolled it somehow. So I still get like, I'm still good with hammers and stuff. So that was like very fortunate. But we had to tweak a few things to give me some of the combat-y stuff because Age only has the 3 classes, fighter, rogue, mage. And there's no really good, like, besides maybe like spell sword, which is still, but not Molly. There's no good like mage warrior option. So, but as a
what did you end up picking then for the audience?
So I went with the mage class because Kane Jax at the core as a cleric in 5e is a caster. So I wanted to focus on casting, and I took so Age splits their casting up into different arcanas, and it's like skills that and when you level up those skills, you can learn new spells. So I maxed out my lightning. I'm almost maxed out in healing. I took buffing magic. So I'm just very much a cleric type build, and with some of the bulls let me pull, it's a great
Oh
no, get him, screenshot.
All right.
Oh man, it's Alex's birthday, but he's truly giving us a gift.
Oh, no.
Kate, how do you feel about
does anyone
moving
else?
Saren over?
It was fine. Thankfully, really the stuff that I miss for Saren herself doesn't really miss. Like most of the spells and stuff, like the transfer was fairly easy. Really the only thing we had to change, quote unquote, was the fact that she's a changeling. And even then it was just basically an elf variant, and her change ability was more flavor than anything else. But I've actually dealt with Green Ronin before. I DM'd for the Dragon Age RPG for about 10 months, 6 years ago. And so I'm fairly not knowledgeable, but I'm used to something like this. But it has been a bit. So I enjoyed it. It was a fairly easy switch, and it's different. I miss my spells.
What class did you end up with, Kate?
So I did elf, and then where's my sheet? There it is. I started off my specializations. I started off with Arcane Scholar, and then my favorite talent that I chose was Soulbound, which essentially makes her a warlock, which is why she went and talked to the broken
soul.
Broken soul. So she was exchanging more power and gave me a reason to do that because Kate wanted to do that, and now
I love it.
Sweet.
Yeah, I was hurting a little bit for utility spells this session because like my brain first went to like mending or because I am a necromancer still in the system, brought it over with a death and fire specialization, which are great. They're very cool. They do some very cool things, but they're very attack focused. There's not a lot of utility stuff.
Yeah, that's where the arcanas can mess you up, is because it's like lightning is all damage.
I mean, as a fighter, I had absolutely no problems.
What did you end up with, Abby?
Yeah, tell us about Adrian.
Your specializations and stuff.
Yeah, so Adrian is a warrior, and her specialization is guardian.
Shield mom.
Yep, it seemed very, very her. So I can use my shield to protect allies. You can essentially get a +2 to your armor rating just when you're next to me. And I can't get knocked prone. While I'm in guardian mode, I can't get knocked prone, and
You're like a fire giant dreadnought or whatever those are called now. The double shield fire giants in 5e.
Nice.
Double shielding
Nice.
it. Let's see. If someone hits you in combat, my allies, I can attack them.
That's pretty rad.
Free action.
That is rad. That's really cool.
Yeah. Before we get to Blossom, also I worked on like boons for everybody except for Saren right now, just because we're still trying to figure out Saren's. But and we just kind of like supplemented some of the things that made them unique. So like Adrian's, for example, you basically still have commanding strike, so you can still like give an attack to an ally, because I felt like that was something that Adrian used a lot.
Is that a major action or a minor action?
I just said following your own attack, so if you make an attack, you can just shout out and have someone else do it.
It's rad.
Okay.
It's in the handout, yeah.
Oh, nice, thanks.
Yep. But everybody kind of has something like that. Like Blossom still has the knock spell, basically. So it's Anyways, what'd Blossom go with?
Yeah, Blossom was an interesting build because I was like, rogues are gonna transfer really like easily in pretty much any system. But it gets tricky with her because she was the multi-class with Warlock, and Age doesn't really have the multi-class like setup. So Chris and I definitely had to make a few special arrangements in terms of like what prerequisites, like requirements and stuff. We just avoided those pretty much. So Blossom is the she's Beast Folk, obviously. That's like the Tabaxi, version for Age. I did not roll randomly. I just chose the cat-like Beast Folk options. And then she's a rogue with 2 specialties right now, because normally we wouldn't be able to take our second one until I think 12th level, but because I had the multi-class and the way things scaled, it wouldn't have made sense. So I've got 2 levels in the duelist specialty and 1 level in arcane dabbler, which is like my way of getting into the sort of warlock thing with knock. And because otherwise I would have had to like max out Arcane Dabbler if I wanted access to magic before level 12, and like that doesn't make sense. Like not for Blossom at least. So Chris let me like just sort of swap that last level and 1 specialization in the first. So that's pretty cool. I get one spell and then a few cool like knock warlock goodies that Chris is letting me keep. So Blossom is now back in possession of her Hat of Disguise to make up for that. Because speaking of like utility spells and stuff, as like a 5e warlock, she didn't have many actual spells, but I had like cantrips and invocations and things like that. So we've got the Hat of Disguise now, so I can still disguise myself and cause trouble fucking that way. I still have my mage hands. That's part of my like knock boon, so that's my arcane hands. And then, like Chris said, I still get access to pretty much the knock spell, which is really handy because that will just pretty much gives me a certain number of times that I can just auto open anything, including magical locks. So Chris is a very merciful and generous game master.
I mean, not so much that. I just didn't want like everyone to lose what made their characters so cool.
Yeah.
So it's just that was like the most important thing when switching. So.
And I think with all of this, we talk about all the hacking we're doing, and I think that highlights one of Age's big positives is how easy it is to just kind of hack.
Yeah. It's definitely been a lot of fun, and it's flexible if you don't mind being flexible, I guess. Because as written, it's like the base Age book is very sparse, honestly. Like we couldn't access the Beast Folk or ways to make our own like ancestries without the companion guide.
Yeah.
And I think the Necromancy Arcana isn't in the base book and stuff. So I do wish the base guide had a little bit more. But I like the modular nature of it a lot for sure.
Yeah, I think if the companion and the base guide were combined into one book, it would be amazing. I mean, it's still good because if we have both, but
just if you want to try out Age, I would at least recommend getting both the regular book and the companion.
If you can get the companion,
definitely.
If you can,
it makes it better.
it definitely adds to the companion definitely adds to the experience, and it's not like just some throwaway supplement where they were just trying to like churn out supplements.
Yeah,
I would not have been able to build Bryn in the age system if it wasn't for the companion.
Same.
Yeah, Blossom would not have been satisfactory.
Yeah, the whole soul-bound thing for Saren was the companion.
Yeah, I mean, I got the half-blooded thing from the companion. I also needed a bestiary for the companion.
I think the only thing that I've taken from the companion book is a skill or a talent. I think I took a talent that makes me stronger. And I think Guardian is from the companion.
Oh, nice.
So honestly, if it was like a game from level 1 on, and I was like making a character fresh, I don't think I would mind just the player. Wouldn't have minded just the player book, but because I was going in with such a clear idea of who I was playing, the companion was necessary.
Yeah, switching systems mid-game is really hard.
It's
it was tricky.
When you really built, like when you have your character in mind and you have built them using one system.
Yeah. I do kind of get the sense that Age sort of benefits more than some other systems with advanced planning, because you get like there's such modularity in building a thing. It's like I had to map out Blossom for the next 10 levels, building her now so I could make sure like she actually made fucking sense.
That makes sense. There is so many choices. Like there's all of it.
One of the traps of a very modular system, they're great, but one of the large cons of them is it can be easy to make shitty characters in such a modular system. Like, I had to be really careful when I was looking at spell schools because, like Lucy was saying, some spell arcanas really are just attack. Like, lightning is just my... That's why I didn't grab, like, anything else that dealt damage, because it's like, lightning is my spell, my attack spell arcana. That's why I grabbed heroic, because that's where all the buffs and the blessings were.
Yeah. That suits Kang Jax really well, though, so that kind of works out at least for him.
It was not really too bad to make him an Age. I do miss like Call Lightning because it's such like a dope spell, but like D&D spellcasters definitely have the power tuned up a lot more.
I will say I actually kind of like Age's Necromancer class better. There's some really cool stuff you can do with it that he kind of hit in 5e with something like Grim Harvest and Inner Undead and stuff like that. But there's not that many necromancy spells that's not Animate Dead and Blood. Those are like the two big necromancy spells.
Yeah, I think
wizards don't get Speak with Dead.
Yeah, I agree. The Necromancer class actually feels like a Necromancer.
Yeah.
In 5e, it just kind of feels like a Death Wizard or something.
Yeah, Clerics felt more like Necromancers in 5e.
Sure. Like, especially because Bryn isn't someone who wanders around summoning an army of corpses. That's not why she became a Necromancer, so it didn't really make sense for that to be her focus.
Not only that, I think Chris and I have talked about this. What really bothers me with D&D's spell stuff, besides the whole Vancian magic, is like, oh, hi, I'm a conjurer. I know Finger of Death. Like, what?
It feels like the school choices don't matter as much as it does with the Arcana choice, I think, in Age, which I like. Like, there's really that specialization.
Yeah,
well,
I do like that.
Honestly, I think one of my biggest gripes when it comes to 5e's spellcasting is that picking a type of caster locks you out of a lot of spells, even if they would make like really good sense for your character.
Yeah, that's like a big complaint I've seen about a lot of the newer classes that come out, where it's like, or like with one of the biggest complaints with Sorcerer was that they lacked a lot of spell options that sorcerers of their origin should have been casting.
Yeah,
and it's nice in Age. 3 of us are casters, like primarily, and Saren and I, even in 5e, were the same class, so we had a lot of the same spells.
Y'all
and sometimes it felt like we were just stepping on each other's toes. We could both do the same things.
Yep.
And
although that what was it? Counterspell was really nice.
That was really cool.
That was fantastic.
I did like that a lot. That was fun.
But
it's
go ahead.
It definitely makes these two characters who come from very, very, very different backgrounds feel very distinct.
Yeah, it's really cool how we're all basically the same class, but none of us are the same in how we play. It's really cool. The reason I understand why counterspell doesn't exist in this game though, because you have a chance to fail casting any spell. Where in D&D, it's just like, yeah, you succeed every time you cast a spell.
There is actually a version, and it's called Arcane Abatement, and it cancels a target spell.
Ooh, there is? Okay, I didn't look hard enough then.
I took it.
Nice. I will say it was an
Chris.
adjustment for me to have spellcasting come from 3 separate abilities at once. That was that threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
The spread of like the number of abilities that you kind of need to focus on was kind of like, whoa, okay.
That was especially sorry, go ahead.
It just kind of works out in the end though, because with the 3d6, I was saying this off stream, you lose a lot of that swinginess that D&D has, where it's like, oh, I'm absolute shit at charisma, but like King Jax was shit at charisma, and I was the one who brokered the deal with the rats. What? But now it's like, if you have bonuses to like your communication and stuff, you're more likely to hit it because you're gonna still hit more of those mid-tier rolls instead of like those really swingy like nat 1s and nat 20s.
Like the focus and the bonuses feel more significant, like they actually matter now. I
I did like that.
I like how the numbers are like lower. It's not like all of these like double-digit numbers that they're throwing at you. It's all just like single digits. I love that.
Yeah, it's kind of nice when there's not like the rogue coming in with the 38 and the fighter coming in with the 4.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, everything as a DM or GM, whatever, it felt very like everything was kind of middle of the road tonight. There was only like one roll that was 20 plus. Everything else was like 14, and I'm like, yeah, I guess that works. It is difficult, I will say. Like not knocking the system, more knocking our choice not to play it at the start. Is like it is difficult to kind of adjust in your head as a GM, like that scale of difficulty, because I don't know how good a 14 is. Like that could be phenomenal in this game, or else it could just be like average.
And Arnivald makes a good point that with the cut down math, +2, due to the way that the probability is changed to more of a curve,
it's a lot.
+1 +2 is a significant, like my stats having a +5, that's a significant bonus in this system.
Yeah, like I was talking about how, earlier I was like, oh man, Blossom feels like, I know like everything will scale right, but making that jump from like a high level 5e rogue, where I'm rolling plus like 12 to anything that I have expertise in, was kind of a shock. But like as I started going through and really adding all of my bonuses, I'm like, oh shit, I'm still gonna be rolling like a +9 to most of my damage attacks and stuff like that. Like Blossom's still gonna be doing some shit, which is really nice and kind of unexpected.
I definitely felt it this session. I felt like I was rolling very low, and then I only had +4 or whatever, and I was like, it hurts.
I think it makes characters unique too. Like we were kind of touching on this, but like maybe Saren and Bryn are very similar in 5e, but in this, Bryn was able to identify that item where Saren might not have been able to get that extra info if she didn't have a lore focus, right? Like
I had to for my race, but I figured Bryn already had her hands on it, and I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, but you get the
lore
point,
and linguist.
Yeah. I just have lore. Yeah. Not linguist.
I have 1 in linguist and 2 in lore, so.
And weird aside, I just like how mages just have like arcane attack. We don't need all these piddly cantrips to take up book space and to just print up more books with more inconsequential cantrips, and every motherfucker's just gonna grab firebolt, right?
I like that.
Okay, but I'm kind of an odd player. You guys have played with me long enough to know this, that I like to do stuff that's kind of off the wall. Mm-hmm. So a lot of those cantrips for me came in really useful. Like I could pull some shit with minor illusion if my DM would let me.
No, completely.
And that here.
Oh, for sure. But
that's why my idea would be, if you hacked it, like I was talking about in our Discord earlier today, is you add a skill focus called like spellcraft or minor magic, mundane magic. Abby came up with the term mundane magic. It's actually a mechanic she came up with. And it's like all those piddly spells where you do all that fun like utility stuff is just one skill you roll instead of like having all of these different.
That's cool. I like that. And
Yeah,
I will say,
imagine, it's like baby's first spell. I'm sure wizards learn prestidigitation and mending like their first week at wizard school. Like, you shouldn't need a spell for that. You've been doing it since you were 12. You're fine.
Yeah. I will say, I like how spell points work in this, because it never really made sense to me in 5e. I'd run out of my ability to cast Detect Magic or Identify, which is the low-level spell, but I could still hit with a Fireball at level 5. Like, the way... for me, I think of it as exhaustion. Like, you get too tired to cast spells, so having spell levels like that didn't really make sense. But here, when you have that one pool of resource and it runs down, the more you cast, makes a lot more narrative sense for me.
I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
That's
It feels almost like in video games where you get mana points.
Yeah.
No, that's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
And it's
basically
really,
is that.
I love it because it's like, because there's a specific stat that gives you more mana points. So if you want to invest in yourself being able to cast more of your spells but not be as likely to cast them, you can boost your willpower versus your intelligence.
I do, just real quick to pop my accessibility director hat on, I do really appreciate that this is a game that does not have like disability mechanics or insanity mechanics. Because that was something that we ran into an issue with trying to find alternate systems. There's a lot of systems that implement that stuff.
Yes.
And a pleasant surprise is that there are very few spells or abilities and things that I at least found problematic in what I saw. I do just want to note for anybody who does decide to check Age out, there is a spell in the Healing Arcana for the companion book that I greatly dislike that is straight up remove disability. That is a problematic spell and one that I wish was not in the system that we will not be using. But I just kind of wanted to like make sure sort of people are aware that this is something that people think about and that affects our choices. And again, I don't want somebody to like go picking up the companion book on our recommendation and sort of getting smacked in the face by that, which is literally what happened to me, because we had all like, that was just sort of something that we didn't catch, and everybody in the game is very good about sort of giving me specifically a heads up, because that's something I personally need. So I appreciate that. They were very sorry. There was just like a cat going across my desk. So I just like want to say I appreciate there were very few instances of that in Age, but it's still important to point out like where things need to be better.
I mean, I didn't notice it because I didn't even know the companion book had spells in it.
I honestly haven't read a single spell, so I.
Right, like I hadn't really looked at the spells because I was like, it's not going to matter for Blossom. Like I looked at the Arcana that would affect her, which was not healing.
All that is that just like remove condition essentially?
Kind of. It's literally like this will regrow limbs and cure all like things, and it's like,
Jesus.
Okay, so. But I guess I don't need to exist in your system then, thanks. Like, that's what that feels like.
No.
Yeah, like, because, I mean, D&D's got some things, like, regenerate can cause, like, discussion about things like that. But it's also very different to be like, these spells exist that can be used, in ableist ways, to a spell that is just straight up, let's remove you from our system.
It's also different when like a monster like Hydra is regenerating heads, or like the protocol is able to regenerate the pseudopods.
Yeah, but no, like in terms of like a spell that's used for like healing and treatment, like remove disability, Green Ronin, rethink that. Please, if you're listening, because maybe you're checking this out, please fucking DM me. DM me, I'm very unemployed. So I do really appreciate the lack otherwise in terms of like no disability movement, like penalties and shit like that, because that's actually really nice to like not have to deal with.
I just found it.
Yeah.
Isn't there like a seduction focus?
There is. There's a flirt
the other
focus also, I think.
There's a flirt focus?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that also like depends on like your DM. Like I don't really care if you guys try to seduce NPCs as long as you're not using it PC to PC, right?
Right?
So
I feel like that's
Yeah.
a really important line for sure. Like in general, flirty and seduction mechanics are kind of creepy to me, but it becomes infinitely more creepy when it's like an agency thing.
I mean, I've definitely, I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but I've definitely played with like characters, you know, like the classic bard character who relies on like seduction and things to get into places. And like I've definitely and like I get that kind of character as long as your DM is comfortable with it. Like again, I would never let PCs use it on each other, but like
see, but the other thing is half of us rolled our eyes, which if you're giving players if that type of play is like really cringy to people and your system's just giving people agency to be cringy.
Yeah. Well, I'm only saying that I get it. Like I get using it against an NPC.
I understand it. It's just
I don't mind stuff like that when it's used against an NPC. When it starts being used against PCs, it's not cool.
Yeah.
But like I have played characters who have used their looks and used their charms to be able to get through doors and learn information and stuff. And I mean, that's a thing. That's a genuine like information gathering tactic.
Yeah.
But so then, as long as no one's gross about it and you're not using something that takes away someone's agency, like Sam said, then I personally don't really mind that stuff. I haven't read the seduction or flirt focus in Age yet.
It's not that serious. It literally just says like, oh, you're good at seducing someone. Like
Mr. Puddin's hot fix is to just just make a single charm focus if you want to like focus on like charming people and beguiling them and stuff, and using like.
That's kind of why I like persuasion as like the skill in D&D is because it can go so many ways. You could be persuading someone by bribing them or by flirting with them or just like being a friend. It can be any of those things.
Yeah, it's a little problematic, but as long as you're comfortable with your DM, I think it's fine. But...
Which, you know, reminder that we always use safety tools and open lines of communication here at the Chromatic Chimera. Like, literally, we had this discussion about using this specific focus, like, if wanted only against NPCs, never against player characters. Like, this is all stuff that we talk about off-stream as well. So...
Yeah, when Sam brought up the disability issues, like that's something that Chris is made aware of in like right when we find it, and then Chris is like, "All right, yep, we're not using that."
Right.
So we take a lot of steps to ensure everyone's comfort and safety here at our tables.
Yeah.
And I blow it out the window. Just kidding. I try to make. The layout just broke. But anyways, we're still here.
Yeah, I'm gonna find a link for the safety toolkit. I'll drop that in the chat for anybody interested.
Yeah. Just for those curious, like I guess what we use is just a very simple system. Like we said, we talk about it outside of game often. I try to check in with players at least once a month. That doesn't always happen, but you know that's a good goal. And then just in general, we have like a red card, yellow card system. So I've had Discord up this whole time, and I don't think anyone's really tagged me, or else I would know. And so then I would X that, right? So it's super simple if you're new to the idea of safety tools in RPGs. So yeah. But anyways, do we want to go around and plug as we are approaching the 10:30 mark? So we will...
I guess.
All right. Lucy, you want to start us?
Sure. Obviously, I play Brennan Winlielo this week, and on other Wednesdays, I play Cat Steel in Steam Spell. I run Elsewhere on the first Tuesday of every month. We did not have a game this month due to personal conflicts. We will be having a game next month. I'm going to go ahead and say right now, there's going to be some trigger warnings on this next episode that you guys should read before you try and watch. And I am going to have a conversation with our players about safety tools before we start that session. I also run Clockwork Hearts. We recently had a computer hard drive malfunction and lost a couple of episodes before we could upload them. But I swear there will be a new episode soon. I promise. But that is a podcast played on a system that I designed. It's the same system we use for Elsewhere. It's called Clockwork Hearts. And I'm on Twitter at Bluebird Draws. I post a lot of art.
Thank you, Alex.
Shit. Hi, I'm the birthday boy, Mr. Puddins. You can follow me on the internet at Mr. Puddins for Twitter, where I talk about RPGs and post cover art to power metal albums because it's fun. And I am enjoying Age. I look forward to playing more Agora's Bells. I also DM the Steam spell game. Talk about another game where there's tears and emotions and things. We are coming back for the prologue of season 2 next week on the 12th, same time as it is tonight. It's going to be a lot of roleplay, and we're still looking for a new system for Steam Spell. That's why you haven't heard much about that yet. It's a work in progress.
Right now, it's an improv exercise.
Yeah, we don't roll. We don't use a system. We act.
we are actors.
All right, thank you, Kate.
Hi, I'm Kate. I play Saren Calvor, and I'm just chilling. If I'm not here every other Wednesday, you can find me yelling into the void on Twitter. I'm currently yelling about the Inuyasha sequel anime. So there's a lot of that. Also, I've just became an aunt, so lots of yelling and lots of baby photos. I guess content warning if you don't like babies. Genuinely, I know someone who doesn't. That's all I got. I'm pretty boring, sorry.
Love it. Abby.
You're wonderful.
Hi, I'm Abby. I'm the graphic designer and creative director for the channel, and I play Adrian Blackburn, aka Shield Mom, here. And on the other Wednesdays, when I'm not her, I play Nettle Swiftfoot, who is the complete opposite. I'm very excited for her to be coming back. Besides that, I am a hobbyist amateur dice maker, and I just got my good silicone, so hopefully this round of molds will turn out well. And then I can start pouring some more and posting some cool pictures. So if you want to see cool pictures of dice, fingers crossed I can get them on my Twitter in a week or two.
And Abby made that awesome new AFK screen.
Yes.
Right.
Also, the stunt die I kept getting fucking 6s on. Thank you, Abby.
All right, Sam, go for it.
On that note, hey everyone, I am Sam. You can find me on Twitter at @TheSamWisest. I'm Samwise_GameG here on Twitch. I'm the accessibility director and cast manager here at the Chimera. If you follow me on Twitter, I'm a disability advocate. You can find me yelling at ableists and TERFs pretty much all the time. Otherwise, you can see me here. I'm also in our other Wednesday game, Steam Spell, and I will be here on Monday the 10th for the series premiere of our new quest adventure with no initiative, Quest the Soaring City. Our premiere is this coming Monday at 6:30 p.m. I'm super excited about it. I love all of our characters so freaking much. It's going to be a really good season, so come check that out. Otherwise, I am going to be running a one-shot here at the Chromatic Chimera on Friday the 21st of my first original game that I wrote. It's a hack of Honey Heist called Robots and Rebels. It's a Star Wars-inspired droid game that's going to be ridiculous, so come and check that out. And join our Discord if you might be interested in possibly coming to play, because I will be posting a casting call up in our Discord in the near future. So link for that's going to be in the chat if you're interested.
Thank you. I'm Chris. I obviously DM Agora's Bells. And I'm in a bunch of other stuff. I'm in Steam Spell next Wednesday. Hopefully it's coming back. I'm really excited for that. Yeah, I'm just really pumped to start getting to play Steam Spell again. I'm in Elsewhere, and I'm also in Perilous Sons, which we are working on a finale date as far as I know. So that's great. Yeah, just always working on new stuff. Got a new idea this week that I talked to Alex about. Maybe November. It's an early plug, but it's still a plug. So watch out for that. But anyways, thank you all for hanging with us during the system switch. I know it's difficult to probably track all the things you got used to, but I really appreciate you hanging out with us. So have a great night, everyone, and we'll see you next time.